Oh my God, don't. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God, has anyone cried on the podcast before?
No, but
Such a nice coincidence to be able to like run a show at like a place that like holds so much like childhood memories
Nostalgia.
for me, and like my grandparents aren't around anymore and stuff like that.
you've got over 1,000 people attending over the 2
Yeah,
days.
and just today, nearly 500 brands. If anyone gets the Ferris wheel tattooed at Affilifest, they get free tickets for life.
I love what you said the other day. Why can't like a work experience be as good as like going to Glastonbury?
That's the whole premise. We love all the fun. That makes it memorable. It makes people advocate for it. But at its core, we want people to have a really good event for their business.
Yeah.
I don't care if you hate it.
Yeah.
I just want an opinion. I
That's
don't want
right.
the same bland.
And you want it seen.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
My worry is that there are people relying too much on that data, and that the people that have been creating these models don't really understand affiliate marketing because they come from a paid search, like meta type background, etc.
Done for
What's hard though, you know,
Yeah.
because you're never going to please everyone. Like, it's really hard because if they don't win, they're off.
fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is one opportunity that most brands are missing right now?
You know what? Don't clip it because there's nothing wrong with crying.
Absolutely.
No, why not clip it means we take the clip of it and we run it for clickbait. You know what I mean? Isn't it nice building a community? It's quite sad. We got a version of that, and like we're building
So
the
satisfying.
team.
But
Yeah,
especially
nice.
around women.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I feel really proud of that.
Yeah.
We both do, don't we?
We do,
Little
yeah.
spark
I think it's
start
like
the whole thing.
I came from a really corporate world, and then where you had to get permission to do a lot of things, or you were kind of silenced about things. Like, and I'm very passionate about gender parity and the gender pay gap and closing the gender pay gap and you know, women in leadership and imposter syndrome and all those things, and like being able to actually do something about that has been the proudest moment of my entire life.
It's great, crushing it. You're just getting started. And James, so I saw you last night, and you told me that you don't get hungover.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you say that?
I saw him. And I said, and I was like, hey, we're doing the podcast tomorrow. I was like, you good for it, yeah? Because it was like, you know, it's going to be a party. And he was like, yeah, I'll be good for it. I don't get hungover. That's my superpower.
And to be fair, that's
It
what I
is.
keep calling
Honestly,
my superpower. Yeah, that's where it comes
the rest
from.
of
But
the
yeah.
team get hungover, and also James, he has this thing where if you try and leave a party, he won't let you. He'll like hunt you down. He'll tell you that he's never going to speak to you again. He'll slag you off. Like, he will then spend
It
the
does
whole
happen.
time
It does happen.
messaging you, like chasing you, and you literally have to Irish exit. Or
yeah, I was
you
gonna
let
say,
you go.
there's a
Everyone's learned now.
But
to
he'll
Irish
be out
accent
till
from me.
4:30 up the next day at the event, fine, like fresh as a daisy, like on a panel that he doesn't prepare for, like smashing it.
But if
The
you
rest
do-
of us will just be like dying or like puking. One time I actually had to cancel a lunch
Because you're going to get an IV, did
because
you?
I had to go and get an IV.
But then you give them the evil eyes if they're not acting professionally the next day, if they've been out with you.
Probably.
He-
Yeah.
He would, I think people win respect with you if they work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
agree.
for with both of us.
That was the old school way we came up in. It was like, I was
Yeah.
in like old, I'm 36 and I started really young in sales. Like I was like 17, 18.
Yeah.
And back in, like, it was around 2007, 2008. And it was obscene, the amount of alcohol they used to throw down our throats in like media
Yeah.
sales. I was in Haymarket Media, like old school print.
Oh, really?
And
So they're an events business as well.
they are, they have an
Yeah.
old school trade press events thing. But I was like 17, 18. They were like getting wine boxes in the boardroom, boxes of wine, and it was like drinking games. It was management doing it, and I got so paralytic. And
James still does that.
I'm still living in the past, basically, is what we're saying. But yeah.
you're holding it down.
How big is the team, by the way? I was wondering the other day.
We've got me, James, and James is obviously this is side hustle.
Yeah.
But I'm full time, and then how many full time? 3, 4 other full time.
Yeah.
And 1 intern.
And then you must have a lot of people that come in for the actual event.
Loads.
Yeah.
I rope in like every single person, like all my friends.
My mum and my dad.
Mum and dad,
Yeah.
yeah.
My
My-
son is there as well. My
My
oldest is there as well. So yeah.
fiance, my best friend works every show, but it's great because a lot of these people are events people. So last year when we did the first Margate, I felt so confident going into it because I'm like, these people know what they're doing.
You know what? I was actually later in the intro going to refer to you as the mum and dad of Affilifest, but that's not accurate, is it? Because you've actually roped in your own mum and dad.
Yeah. James's dad, Tony Little, he's such a legend as well.
He
turns
comes with his cowboy
you
hat
won't miss him.
Really?
He wears like really kind of flamboyant clothing. He's
I
like,
wonder where you get that from.
Yeah.
So I this morning was getting dressed and I've got this ridiculously loud tie-dye pink purple t-shirt that I bought a few weeks ago, and it arrived. I think I tried it on, I'm like, nah, when am I ever going to wear this? It's crazy. And then today I was like, I'm going to wear this and out-peacock this man. And I was going to out-peacock you today, but then I actually had a last-minute change
you
of
should
heart.
wear that to Affilifest though. That
I might
sounds
do,
very
yeah.
appropriate.
It's pretty cool t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's just like hard to pair it with anything. You know, it's so like aggressively loud and pink and purple.
Well, I'm wearing a t-shirt today. It's from a gas station in America, right? Have you heard of Buc-ee's? It's like,
No.
It's like the biggest gas station in the world or something, right? It's got like hundreds of pumps. There's a bunch of them. And like we did a trip actually it was when we were at a conference in the US, and we did me and two of my kind of colleagues are really good friends, did a trip from where was it from? From Austin to New Orleans and then like back again. And we got a Tesla for the first time and drove a Tesla for the first time. And then you realise that you had to stop off quite often and like wait half an hour for it to charge up. They're a bit better now, I guess. But and then we just like turned, it just tells you where to stop. And we stopped in this gas station called Buc-ee's, and we're like, what the hell is this place? You go in, they've got everything they sell there is like Buc-ee's merchandise, like from clothing to camping chairs and like everything you can possibly imagine. And
Sounds like Cracker
it's like
Barrel.
there's loads of stuff on YouTube at the moment. It's become like a real thing.
You heard
like,
of Cracker Barrel? It's all over Florida. Cracker Barrel is it's like IHOP, but way better and more like country breakfast food. But then they've got this giant, I'd call it a tat shop that just sells, like you said, like chairs, all with merch and just like random trinkets, but it's all got their branding on it. It's a bit like that. Yeah, it's really cool. Whenever we go to America, we always hit up
like an In-N-Out burger. I've got like a bunch of their t-shirts and stuff like that, right? Yeah, it feels like you wouldn't go to McDonald's and like get like a t-shirt, right? But like you go out there and you're like, yeah, I'll get a t-shirt from a burger chain. Like I don't know what it is, but
love it.
Yeah.
Jamie has got an intro for you guys.
Let's do some proper introductions, shall we? Because we know you, but our audience may not. So let's get into it. So I'm going to have to like take a deep breath on this one because we don't usually have two guests on the show. It's usually just the one.
You got this.
So today we have the duo behind the UK's most talked about affiliate event. We've got James Little. We've got Hannah Wharrier. Is that the right pronunciation?
Yeah.
Excellent. The founders of Affilifest.
Woo!
Thank you.
So now in its second year, Affilifest has completely disrupted what was normally considered to be quite a formulaic industry conference circuit. I think you'd agree with that sort of characterization. So it's hosted at Dreamland Margate, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
You've got roller coasters, you've got tattoo artists, breakfast on the beach, bands. What am I missing, guys?
Oh my God. Yoga, we said.
Okay.
The Run Club. Don't forget about the Run Club.
They got a free ice cream man. That blew my mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the ice cream
More
man.
ice creams, actually, and really cool surprise ice creams at the Uni Days stand this year as well.
We're going to spoil all the surprises.
I know, don't.
No,
There's some things that will be a total surprise. We've got really cool panel formats this year. That's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we did hot wings in Manchester, and now we've got cold ones.
Yeah, the hot wings was great. Like there was, I think you know George Sullivan, right?
Yeah.
So like he was one of the guests on it, and like what I love about it is I was sitting next to him and I took a photo because I was moderating the panel, and took a photo, and he was literally had tears rolling down his eyes.
He is
from like
amazing.
eating like the ridiculous. Like we all ate the hot wings, but I always have like I have a little bite. But he's like he ate the whole thing. He's the
had a
only
full
one
meal.
who ate the whole thing of all
He's a
of them,
competitive guy. I'm not surprised. Yeah. Go on, Jamie's got more.
Oh yeah, so I do. Yeah. So it's a massive operation. You've got over 1,000 people attending over the 2 days.
And just today, nearly 500 brands.
Fantastic. So hell of a lot of fun, and that's by design, obviously. And I've heard some call you the pioneers of festivalization. I'm just glad I got that word out all right in the affiliate space, proving that business connections made on a Ferris wheel are more sustainable than those made in meeting rooms.
Jeez.
Love that.
Great.
Can I have that?
Cheers. You can. Yeah. I'll charge you later. And James, you are a true industry veteran with over 20 years in the game. By day, the group commercial director at TopCashback. By night, you're a tech innovator building your own AI tools to solve business and event logistics.
Yeah.
And Hannah, you are an event specialist through and through. After leading massive global shows like Affiliate Summit for Clarion, you went solo, or with James, to build something more agile, customer-centric, and frankly, more fun.
That's
and
what we're aiming for.
Love
I've
that.
got to ask you guys something because I wasn't on the pre-podcast research call, but I've heard some things. Have you guys got matching tattoos?
We
Yeah.
have, yeah.
Can we talk about that? What is them? What are
Well, it was how much of it was drunk decision
We were drunk.
versus
It was
not
our
drunk
Christmas
decision. But
party.
yeah.
Just the date where we came up with the idea.
Oh, that's sick.
But we don't like to check it's the exact right date.
Hold on,
So
so
I
we
was
did check-
drunk.
We did check.
I
I
was
was
right
drunk
I think
scrolling
we're
through.
right.
Hold it up and then we'll zoom in.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, just bang you on the head at the same time.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah,
No, it's
I love
just like,
it
it
as
doesn't
well.
at all look like you guys are prisoners and that's your numbers.
That's exactly what my partner says.
We're actually like trying to work out like when's like the party going to be for like the anniversary, and we're like, well, let's carry on our own. We'll always remember.
I'll never
right?
forget, I actually have a tattoo appointment next Tuesday, and my tattooist was emailing me this morning like, what do you want? My legs are caked and I've got some spaces here and there. And I'm thinking about getting the Revwise logo, but I'm like, as soon as I get that, we're going to freaking change it or something.
No,
and
but
I'm
it doesn't
like,
matter because it's the story.
That's true.
It's still part of the story. So
the evolution of Revwise.
do you know if anyone gets the Ferris wheel tattooed at Affilifest, they get free tickets for life.
Okay, I'm doing
So
that.
the Ferris wheel, so you get a free ticket for life.
Does that help?
There you
It only got me
go.
that
So we got
Guys, come on. This is,
three people did that last year.
I'll be doing it this year.
One
And, like,
person,
some
it was
people,
their
their
first
first tattoo,
tattoo.
yeah,
That's
like,
crazy.
absolutely crazy.
So the thing for me is my legs are caked, and I've got two portraits. I've got Elvis portrait on the right leg. I've got Juice WRLD as a
I love
rapper
Juice WRLD, yeah.
portrait, a big one on my leg here. But then I'm going to get more portraits and it's going to be like a sleeve of portraits on my left leg. Though it's nearly done. I've got gaps to fill,
Yeah.
and they can't be that big because it's just filling little gaps. So
Get
I'm
a
getting the
Ferris wheel.
PlayStation logo, MTV logo, random like nostalgic stuff.
Yeah.
I will absolutely get the Ferris wheel next
Love
week.
that.
Oh, sorry, whenever it's on in
You
June.
just have to get it sorted because it was so busy. You need to get in the queue for the tattoo.
Oh,
But
it's
we do
really?
have 2 days of tattoos.
Yeah, we've got
this
2
year,
days
right?
this
So
year,
we
yeah,
should
but it was so busy.
But
So
I
people
want-
aren't only getting the Ferris wheel, they're getting their own
No, so
tattoos.
there's like a
and-
flash sheet. So you can choose, but if you get the Ferris wheel, you get a free ticket
I'll just
for
get the
life.
Ferris wheel, but I'll be honest with you guys. I'm doing it because I intend on coming to the event as long as it's on in long into the future, and it's going to save me a lot of money. By the
Yeah.
sounds of it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You get, and that's for like USA, Manchester.
If enough people start doing it, and you guys start seeing the loss
We
of
might have
revenue,
to
are
change.
you going to go like, well, it has to be the words of Affilifest, and you're going to start to make it a higher bar?
We'll just take it off the flash tattoo sheet
Yeah.
for the future. That's what we have to do.
It's a
But
good problem to
I
have.
think
isn't it?
we're-
I
yeah.
don't even have it yet. I
Too many
need to
people
get it.
keep getting our logo tattooed on
people,
them.
people getting in arguments. Like
Yeah.
so I remember I was the last one to get a tattoo. And there was this guy from a network there, and he was like, oh, and you could see because there was a sheet with people's names, right? And you could see like he put his name on the sheet like in between other people. And he was like, no, I'm next. I'm like, dude, I can look at the sheet and tell that you're not meant to be there. And also, like, it's my event. It's the last day. I'm going to get my own tattoo, right? And he was like, I was like, come back next year. He's like, oh, I'm not going to be working for next year. I'm like, well, even more reason. You're not letting you get a tattoo over me then. But
That's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool. The tattoo thing.
So what date is it again? Is it the date that you started?
The date where we
Festival?
kind of sat down and, well, we were
Kinda
going
came up with the
we
idea
were-
of it,
We
yeah.
were going for lunch.
we were, yeah, in London Bridge, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was tapas, I believe.
Okay.
You'd found a place where we could get free stuff.
Yeah. Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, and then we decided to do it then and there, didn't
Yeah.
we? You were
Yeah,
in
so
a
I'd run Affiliate Huddle for like a number of years, probably up to 10 years actually. And then was just like wanted to do more, like wanted to do the Manchester event, wanted to do some other bits. It was just not the same way as what the person I was running with kind of wanted to go because he runs another big show in Brighton, etc. So I
And
just
I'd
kind of,
left.
and you just left,
Yeah.
Darren. So I kind of, initially it was kind of like gone to Hannah and said like, look,
To
I just want to get
moan.
some advice and yeah, it was, and you know, see what you think I should
and
do
we've
around
been
this
friends
and
for a
stuff like
long
that.
time.
Yeah.
Like we were friends since 2017. So
Right.
for a
Well,
while.
I want to test how well you know each other.
Oh my
Oh God, no,
shut
I'm
up.
so bad at these
So
things.
we have a bit of a game.
Don't.
that we
You've
wanna
never
play
done
with
this
you.
before.
I know.
I've
I know, but we've never had two
done this
things.
before.
Can you see the look of anxiety on my
Look, I
face
know
right
what
now?
3 apps I'm going to keep, all right?
Can we get some close-ups, please? Yeah. So yeah, we've got a little game. So you've obviously been through the trenches together. You started a business
We're going to be so
together.
bad at this.
I know.
you know, so,
It's kind of like a Mr. and Mrs. game, but it's just how well you know each other as sort of business partners.
Love it.
Completely platonic.
Yep. So I am going to ask a question. I'm going to count to 3, and you have to give me your answer at the same time.
Oh
So
my
I'll
God,
say
okay.
1, 2,
And
3.
if you're really
answer.
bad at this, you can cut it, right? We can demand it.
No, sure.
Okay, so I'm going to start with a friendly. All right, so an easy one. Okay, so the origin story.
so
all right. So
competitive.
question 1: what year did you first meet? So
2017.
2017, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So I'll count to 3 next time.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
okay.
Would you have got
So
that?
it's a good start.
No.
Okay. So on to the next one. Who is more likely to play bad cop when chasing sponsors?
Okay, so
Hannah.
Hannah. Oh, sorry, didn't need 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Sorry.
You're ruining my game, guys.
Come on.
Right,
Come
do
on,
1,
guys.
2, 3. We'll do it again.
Okay.
We need order.
Yeah.
I wanna
We need it for
count.
the clips, actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, forgot about the counting.
Okay, so I'll ask the question again.
You asked a question. I'm a count.
Okay, you
And
can.
Okay.
then give your answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Who is more likely to play bad cop when chasing sponsors?
Easy.
1, 2, 3.
Hannah.
Cool.
Good, we've got the idea now.
It's not hard, guys.
Okay, who's the one most likely to call the other at 11 p.m. on a Sunday with a crazy idea like, I don't know, put a tattoo parlor in the middle of the networking hall?
1, 2, 3.
James.
I thought it might be, I thought it might be. Okay, this is quite a simple one. Who's the biggest control freak?
1, 2, 3.
Hannah.
Who uses more industry acronyms in casual conversation? We're talking LTV, ROAS, S2S.
1, 2, 3.
James.
Oh, we're good at this after
Yeah.
all.
Right. Maybe the
Love
next
it.
ones will be a bit trickier. So, who is more likely to accidentally leak a secret about next year's event before the official
This
PR
happens
goes out?
all the time.
1, 2, 3.
James. This happens all the time. We were keeping this extremely secret that we were launching in the USA, mostly because, I used to run Affiliate Summit, the biggest events in the USA, so I didn't want it kind of getting out there
Mhm.
until we kind of knew what we
That
were doing.
didn't
And
come
then
from
I'd
me.
meet loads of people who'd be like, oh yeah, Nashville, isn't it? Yeah. And I'm like, what? We're like, yeah, we saw James.
Out of the two of us, that's me. I just
Yeah.
get too excited.
Yeah, that's
I
exactly
mean,
what I'm- yeah.
listen, I'm not great at keeping a secret, if I'm honest. We're both, but he is
The summer
particularly
worth
good.
yeah. Okay, final question. Aside from the US, which we talked about, name the next country you want to take Affilifest to.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Australia.
Boom.
Shit,
You guys
I thought
are
there would be a
synchronized.
conflict on that.
Well, look, absolutely smashed it. Let's have a cheers with our milkshakes.
Cheers,
Welcome
love
to the podcast.
that. We just had that conversation on the tube.
Cheers, Jen.
Yeah, cheers.
Cool. So that's the future, obviously. But we're really interested in how it all started. Now, we've touched upon a bit of the history between you guys, but yeah.
Before we get into that, though, I thought of something. You guys talking about Huddle?
Yeah.
Affiliate Huddle. So you used to run that before, right? You weren't involved in that?
No.
Right, but you used to run Huddle. That was in Brighton, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So I'm not really from this part of the affiliate industry myself. I got into it when we started RevWise. I've always been performance marketing and advertising, but not in affiliate specifically. Jamie, somewhat, but as a merchant and a publisher. But when we just, he and I partnered together and started the business, we had been going for like a month, was it?
Yeah.
And then the business had been going for like a month. We had like 1 or 2 clients. And we thought it'd be smart to go to Huddle.
Okay.
So it's got a special place in my heart.
cute.
Yeah.
Because you talk about story and stuff, right? It's an important part of that.
And it was a beautiful day, very sort of romantic vibes.
No one knows us.
For
We
us.
were nobodies. We had no business really, no clients, no
Yeah.
nothing. We were just really aiming high, and we were there head full of dreams. And you know what?
Aw.
Digby, who I know, I think you know as well,
Yeah.
is Edward Leroy. Shout out to Ed. I knew him from before, and he just treated us like we were a legitimate agency.
Oh.
Took us out to, I think it was Soho House on the beach
Nice.
for dinner, and we were like, shit, maybe this is
That
a real
is,
thing.
I think, totally typical of this industry.
Mm.
And that's why we love it.
Yeah.
And actually with events as well, like the way you talk about that being part of your story, that's also why I love events, because
Yeah.
it's always part of someone's story.
Mm.
Like it really is.
And it was, but I do remember, if you don't mind me saying so, that event doesn't exist anymore, or it does?
No, it doesn't matter.
Right. It was very hot and very busy.
It was
and-
very hot.
It was very shoulder to shoulder. Obviously it was rammed in that room. Now that's the success of the event. But also it was ridiculous. Like I was like, this is mental. And because we also didn't know anyone either, he knew a lot more people than me. It was like, I felt like I was in a tuna can and like of randoms.
Yeah.
Then when
I think one person commented on like the feedback form of saying that by the end of it, they were more sweat than man.
to
put that in perspective,
It was
yeah.
so hot in that room, and that you couldn't get to the bar or nothing. And I was like, but we was excited to be there. And then I was, like I said, Digby taking us out for Trade Doubler and entertaining us as an agency. The first time we've been really meeting with the network and being legitimized was just awesome. We went away from that event like really happy, and we thought, well, this is going to be a great business. But what I will say is when Jamie told me about when I came to Affilifest last year, and Jamie was like, oh, that's kind of like a bit of a spin-off of Huddle, and we thought actually it kind of replaced it or spun off. I was like immediately like sick. That's cool, because I was invested, because
Love that.
Huddle's where we started. But then I came and saw how how fucking cool it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, they leveled this shit up. And obviously it makes
Thank
sense that it's a
you.
different event, you guys are...
It's kind of like an evolution. It is a different event, but it's had its kind of genesis in Huddle.
Yeah, no, it absolutely did. Yeah. And then, it was something I was really proud of, right? Like, I think like when I started that, it was at the time and like one of the key things behind it was saying we wanted to be able to have an event that was just free for people to attend. Right. And like, because there was other events and there still are. And a lot of them, like, I go to a lot of shows in the US. I go to a lot of shows in the US and various other places. And it's pricing people out sometimes, right? Sometimes you're paying thousands of dollars to go to events, multiples and thousands. And that's before you've got your accommodation and everything else on top of it. And like what I wanted to do and what we do at Affilifest is like we've always said, like, let's make sure this is free for advertisers and publishers, right? So that if you're a tiny, if you're just starting an agency and and you've only just got, or you've got a tiny, merchant like mums and pop store or stuff like that. But even like we even have big advertisers who just like can't get budget signed off.
Yes.
Like they can't do it, right? And like, and we've always, and the same with publishers, some publishers as well, right? So we've always said like we can make a model that still makes this free and still like means
inclusive.
Like, it's exactly that.
And like the reason we launched this like small agency ticket this year, which because we want to make it accessible to even small startups.
Yeah.
What is that? How does that work? The small agency ticket?
They just pay like £200,
right?
Rather than
So that would have been us. Like
price.
when we first started out, to go to that would have been super valuable. But if we were asked to pay $1,000 or whatever,
yeah, exactly,
we wouldn't have been able to go.
But we didn't have that. And I think this is what I love about being a small business and running my own business. We just listened to our customers and we're like, well, we'll just create that pass.
Another thing that I love, that we love, and I can tell that you guys love it, and I've got some questions coming up about that later, is you just do whatever you want when you're in the small business independent as well. You just come up with an idea, for better or for worse, and you go, let's just do this.
And then you can do it like straight away.
It's exciting.
It's amazing, but it's also like such a curse because we're doing so bloody much. Like it's ridiculous.
But you're becoming memorable. And
for sure.
People are talking
and I said to myself, we'll have a year of basically just doing everything and taking every opportunity and just being super grateful and yes people. And then maybe we need to be a bit more strategic about saying yes to everything.
Although knowing Hannah, I don't think they'll let's be honest.
I'm just like, we can do more.
But like so you came up through Affiliate Summit.
Yes.
You were at Clarion for years.
12 years. Yeah, I was at Clarion for a long time. So I'm like, events background. But when I discovered Affiliate Summit, so Clarion bought Affiliate Summit from Missy and Sean. And we get told all the time we're the new Missy and Sean.
I don't know. That doesn't mean it's go
Which
public.
is actually hilarious.
Who are Missy and Sean?
So they started Affiliate Summit. So
right.
and then they sold it to Clarion. So they're like millionaires.
Got it.
And then I took over Affiliate Summit from when Clarion had bought it. And I literally, James was like my first meeting.
Yeah.
Which is so weird. And we got introduced by my now fiance. So he's running a different division of Clarion and he'd known James from
my gaming days.
Affiliate.
Yeah. And I just literally reached out because I've been going to Affiliate Summit for years, right? And I just, as soon as I saw the news, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, let me reach out to Alex and say like, because I think he posted on LinkedIn or something like that. And I dropped him, I think, a Facebook message at the time and just said, look, mate, if you want to meet up and like have a conversation, happy to give some feedback on the event and everything else. And then, and then he brought Hannah along and then like we made friends from there, really. So
when you start a new event, like you started Affilifest, like last year was the first one, right? Yeah. Must be well scary, like not knowing event. Like I guess you see the ticket sales, you see the build up, but
do you know the worst?
The
bit?
Feeling is everyone going to turn up?
Who's going to turn up? Yeah,
That's
it's like you've got this thing where like if everyone turns up, we're going to be like, oh my god, there's no space. And this was a problem we had in Brighton as well. Like if everyone turns up, there's no space. But then I always worry, well, no one's going to turn up because it's free tickets, right? Some people will be like, oh, well, actually,
easy come, easy
and especially year one because you've got no data.
Yeah. And I was there, and it was like it was good, but it was like busy, and it was good. It was, but like you must be shitting yourself.
So worried
leading
about
up
the
to
Margate location, to be honest.
Yeah.
And everyone kept saying, "Aren't you worried about Margate?" I'd be like, "No, of course not worried." I was so worried, and everyone came.
So why Margate? Dreamland.
I think it's a nice story, actually.
It is. So like originally, like when we were thinking, well, where do we do this, right? I think I just had the idea. I'm like, I went to Dreamland as a kid, right?
We said, even before that, we said we want it to be within a train ride of London, but on the beach.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's actually very
so you've got
limited.
Southend, which is where I'm from, and it's not.
And then there's like, but are there any venues there? And then
just found it. And
you said, what about Dreamland? I probably got the message somewhere.
Probably.
You were like, this is probably won't work, but what about Dreamland? And I like messaged their like hello at.
You're like,
email.
hello at, can we rent the
I was
entire
like,
Dreamland?
do you do corporate events or do you do events? And they were like, oh, actually, yeah. And but it's so interesting because it's such a cool venue, but they're not a corporate event venue. So it's a challenge in that way, but it's also amazing because they're yes people. They're not like trying to like monetize every single wall in their venue like they are in Excel, for example.
You get to own it. You get to own it for this purpose, in a sense, right? And I want to speak on behalf of Dreamland, but if you guys have brought them this sort of blue ocean idea, then, you know, anyone in our industry wants to go and do it there, that's mental because you guys own that now. Like,
but other industries, absolutely. It's an amazing, I think, undiscovered gem for corporate events because it's got like a huge indoor stage, but also there's rooms that we haven't even opened up, and
we
they don't even show. They just are like, they're just like, oh, we didn't show you this one last time, and it's this giant upstairs space where we went to this supper club the other day, candle lit, entire amazing supper club, like upstairs at Dreamland. There's a whole other floor.
So I'd never heard of Dreamland. But I do know Margate because one of my best friends, Roxy, who listens to the podcast, shout out to Roxy.
Hi, Roxy.
She was going to come because she works for a brand, but she's doing some training that day. But yeah, she was devastated. But she lives in Margate. So
cool. It's such a cool place. I love it.
So we've been visiting Margate to see her for years since she moved there. She bought a house. And it's awesome. Like,
it was like rated something ridiculous. Like, I think it was like Time Out magazine or something like that as like one of the best 10 places to live in the world, which like... still sketchy idea, right?
It sounds crazy, but
it is. But like when you go to like some of the new areas, like basically everyone that was like living in Shoreditch over COVID moved to Margate or Ramsgate and places like that.
It's really fucking cool.
So it's really small little bay. Because it's a small little bay.
And a beautiful sandy beach.
And it's a beautiful sandy beach, small little bay, loads of incredible restaurants.
And little shops. And little shops. Restaurants are amazing. The
restaurants are incredible,
There was, they just had a review in, I think, the Times. Grace Dent came to one of the restaurants that we're hosting a dinner at, actually.
I saw an article about Madonna going to her favourite restaurant there or something. Like, so she's
friends with Tracy Emin.
Oh, that's why.
That's it.
So I'd never heard of it. Sorry, I had never heard of Dreamland because I don't know Margate that well, apart from my friend Roxy. Then I came to Affilifest with one of our team last year, and I was just like blown away. Like, it's such a great.
The backstory for me, right, is that like I basically used to go. So when I was growing up and a kid, like my granddad had like had a stroke, like I think before I was born in my very early years. So he was in a wheelchair and like struggled to talk and stuff like that. And I just like have memories of like we'd all go down to like Dreamland on the summer, like me, my mum, my nan and granddad, like my cousin, and like a few other people. And like, I just have memories of like basically just like pushing him around in his wheelchair or someone else pushing him around and I'm standing on the wheelchair probably. And like bits like that. And like even when we went, like it was funny, we went to do the viewing of like for the first time. And there's a roller coaster. It's not operational at the moment, and I don't know if it ever will be because of like various issues. Because it's one original ride.
Like the oldest roller coaster in the UK or something.
Right. And you see all these like like you have the bars where people like standing next to like queuing up and stuff like that. I just had this memory of like when I was younger, and a throwback of where I'd put my head through the bars, and I was like, and I was told like, oh, they're gonna have to get a fire brigade to get you out. So I couldn't pull my head back. Like, thankfully, I did manage to pull my head back. The fire brigade were not cool, but like it was so weird. Like it was a throwback of like seeing that for the first time in so many years because it shut down for a while and then kind of reopened as like a retro park effectively. And like, but it's also like I used to go down there with like some of my friends. Like I had like my first kiss on the beach with a girl. You know, like it was so. It's got like so many like lasting memories for me. I guess.
How special.
So when I was like on stage, like doing a welcome speech last year, and I was telling some of these stories, and I was just like, you know, it's kind of welled up a little bit because it's like such like. It's so nice to actually be doing like it's such a nice coincidence to be able to like run a show at like a place that like holds so much like childhood memories for me, and like my grandparents aren't around anymore and stuff like that. So
it's incredible, like, and no wonder your parents are so like happy to get involved and they're probably loving it as well because isn't that so special? You've got one life, you can choose to spend your career and your life doing whatever you want if you're fortunate enough to be able to do that, and you know for you to be now running an event there and it's successful as well. Like what an amazing arc.
So true.
And like you say, my parents are there. My son, my oldest, is also going to be there volunteering. So it's like a whole family affair. Like it was the same last year.
It felt like that last year.
I love what you said the other day, which was like, why can't like a work experience be as good as like going to Glastonbury?
That's the whole premise is, look, these are the same people who go to Glastonbury on the weekend. So why should they be shut in a windowless like conference hotel or soulless exhibition centre? Because they're the same people expecting the same level of experience. And it can be fun. And it makes it more memorable. Like there's a whole behavioral science behind connections that are made in like unusual scenarios, like on a roller coaster, or on a roller disco, or on a waltzers this year, speed networking on waltzers, means that you're
Is that not
gonna.
one of the secrets?
That's not a secret.
Okay, cool. Okay, just checking.
That means you're going to remember that person forever. It will be part of their story, and
Yeah.
that connection will be more sustainable. So there is actual research-backed science behind coming to Affilifest.
It wasn't
And
just to be fun for you guys to have fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
We wanted to create an event that we would want to go to.
Yeah. I said that I just want people to go home. Like, my main thing has always been about saying, well, if you're going to go home to your family or friends or whatever else, you want to actually like be able to have them say, oh my God, I went to this conference. Like, if they were just going to a normal conference, it'd be like, oh, what have you been up to this week? Oh, I had a conference a couple of days.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Next conversation, right? But like, imagine going to conference and being like, oh yeah, and I got a tattoo and there was buskers. And I went on the rides. I did this, and and it was like that. And then we were sat, and then we had breakfast on the beach the next day, and then we had the party in the evening. We just that's the kind of thing that I want people to be able to go home and do, right? And actually want to be able to like say what an amazing, not just have an amazing time. Like, there's also like incredible talks, and like there's thousands of meetings going on and stuff like that, right? I mean,
I think like we love all the fun that makes it memorable. It makes people advocate for it, which is amazing. But at its core, it needs to be good for business.
Yeah.
That's something that's also really important to us. Is we want people to have a really good event for their business at the show.
Do you plan for like day 2 fatigue? Because quite often at conferences, you get people like The Walking Dead the next day after like the first night party.
There's no danger of that at this one. We're doing this breakfast on the beach.
But it's the first time we've done 2 days, right? And I remember when we were talking about 2 days, I was saying we just need to make sure we're not no one wants to go to the conference at 9 o'clock. I'm sure there's some people that do, but not many people want to go to the conference on day 2 at 9 a.m. Right? I'm just can we just open it later? Let's again going back to what do we want to see from a show? I don't want to have to get up and get there for 9 o'clock and be walking, like you say, like The Walking Dead. So let's start a bit later. Let's have some breakfast on the beach. Let's do some run club and yoga on the beach and various other things, right?
And then sponsors can organise stuff in that space. We don't have to.
I've got a shiny object idea for you.
Go on. Oh, don't.
Next year, another one.
Still in my year of the yes.
Day 2, IVs.
Oh yeah, that is on the roadmap.
Okay.
100%. I've got a funny story about that.
Go on.
I'll tell you why. So, can I say this? Yeah, I'll say this.
I was wondering if you could say it.
When I was at Clarion, and I was had a really good job and was doing well, and I went to Affiliate Summit and I was running it, and it was 2021, so it was post-COVID, our first show post-COVID, and the team were obviously working really hard, and events were shit in COVID. So I was when everyone's hungover, I'll buy everyone an IV. And I bought everyone an IV in the staff office, and I got in the most trouble and nearly fired.
Really?
Yeah. So, and I got a letter of concern put on my file, and I was told if you do anything like that again, you're fired.
Wow.
It honestly broke me. Now I'm right, I need to get IVs sponsored. I need that letter is going to be there framed in the IV sponsor feature.
As long as people sign a disclaimer when they get the IV.
It was I'd given everyone heroin.
Yeah, you might as well have for the amount of trouble you got in.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
That is 100% happening.
Yeah, I got one in Vegas.
Yeah, same.
I've still not had one.
They sort me out. If you feel a little bit nauseous, it just goes.
Yeah, I don't think I was hungover enough.
Okay,
maybe.
yeah.
Well, I don't get hangovers.
Next time.
Yeah.
Next time I've got to ratchet it up a bit.
Yeah.
So you said about Margate. About Dreamland, sorry.
Yeah.
And I've only had a few experiences of mentioning it. One of them was when we invited, you guys invited us to do a version of this podcast on stage, which we're really excited about. So thanks for that opportunity. We've brought on a guest.
Love the guest.
We were we need to pick a really good guest for this.
I love that you got a woman.
Yeah, we've got our bank of guests already lined up for the next big shoot that we do. We'll do a big bank of episodes soon. And I've been talking to Alexis, who's our client, Wharrier, Living Social. Really great partnership with RevWise. We do a lot of good stuff with them. And I'd already been warming her up saying, do you want to come on the main podcast? And she's like, I'm not sure. And then we came to her and said, we think you'd be great for the live one, and managed to get her on board. But you know what really did it was I think it was the final bit that kind of got her excited was I said, "Oh, it's at Dreamland Margate." She went, "Oh my God, I love Dreamland."
No way, I
And
love
so,
that.
you say about people not wanting to go to Margate, or you were worried about, when you first started, would people come to Margate or whatever? I had never heard of Dreamland, but it's out there. Like obviously it's a legacy, like it's a real historic place, isn't it? So I think Alexis, it tells me that she's probably got those childhood memories there as well.
Yeah.
And I think nostalgia's quite fashionable
Yeah.
at the moment as like a trend, like to tap into people's like nostalgic feelings. And I think Dreamland really does that with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So.
And we do, of course, have like the Northern event as well, right? Because I think some people like the worry actually over doing Dreamland is like it's a long way to go. Like if you're coming from like the north of England
Bristol.
or like it can be a long way. There's a few
Takes
people
about 7
that just can't go because of like how far it is. Right?
Where'd you do the Northern event?
So we do it
Manchester.
in Manchester and Freight Island.
You know what's crazy? I didn't know that, and I was just about to say you should do it in Freight Island.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think
So
about
that's another one. They don't run events there, and we discovered it. And
They don't run
actually,
events there.
they don't run corporate events. Yeah.
I was literally thinking, okay, what's the Manchester equivalent of Dreamland?
Isn't it?
I thought
That's
Freight
what
Island.
happened. Yeah.
we went and did like a tour of a few different like locations stuff in Manchester. And, like we went to like the Etihad Stadium
didn't
and like
have any
we were
money
looking at the
for an
Etihad and
event.
it was like, oh my God, like this like might be the top choice, but it still didn't feel like a Affilifest at all.
No.
And the last place we went to see was like Freight Island. And I was just
so
like,
over
and it was
budget.
more more expensive as well. But I was like, Anna, we cannot do it anywhere else now we've seen this. Like,
Yeah.
we have
So
to make
all those
it work
restaurants that line the edge,
Yeah.
they'll be open for business.
Some
or
of them,
how-
yeah.
So we're opening 3 this year. Memories to last year when we had 1 open and the queue was very long. Sorry about that, everyone. But yeah, we're opening 3 of those. Yeah.
So it'll be the regular people that run it because the food there is incredible.
Yeah.
Some of those.
Yeah.
So it'll be the
Yeah,
regular
yeah.
people that have their business there. They've opted to be part of it.
Yeah,
Basically,
and Freight Islands, it's such a mini dream. It's even got like a little arcade and like
Yeah, the only thing missing is the
Perfect.
rides, but I had some great memories there. I went there for the first time a few years ago, and we walked in, there was a live band playing.
yeah.
was
So
a
we
rap-
lean into that in Manchester. We had a Oasis tribute
Yeah.
this
God, nice.
last year. So we're looking at another Northern Act tribute this
We
year.
were on the dartboard till like 1 a.m. There's darts around the corner.
Yeah, I know.
And it's just, and then the outside air is
Love,
cool.
yeah. The,
Really
the
cool.
weather is a bit dodgy.
So
in
how do you space
September.
them? When is the
Manchester, September.
September?
Yeah. But we also do a lot in between. Like we do dinners, like monthly dinners nearly for brands at the moment.
So these
as
are
well.
your brand roundtables?
So
What
we
do you
do a lot. And this is something, again, about, I think, when we got together, we wanted to really make sure like brands are at the core of everything that we're doing, because if you get that right, the whole ecosystem follows.
Yes.
So we do a lot of events that are just for brands. So brand roundtables. We have an Affilifest Elite, which is a dinner series. So we do like private dining with invite only for brands. We might do that around a specific topic. So we did one with Savendus around brand to brand. We've done one. Forgotten them all now. We've done a CLO one. Yeah.
We also did like a really cool like brands only event recently as well. And we had kind of Pete, who is the ex CMO of Boots, come along and present. Like really weird story. Like my first ever job. Like, so I didn't go to university. I don't have that background and stuff like that. I kind of came out of college. I was doing like IT at college, and then I remember kind of I got back one day from college, aka well, I'd actually been in the pub, and then my parents like, oh, you've had a phone call from like Barry, or like your college tutor. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, well, he hasn't seen you for a while. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, you need to buck up your ideas, son. Like, go to college or get a job. Like, they only told me a couple of years ago that they'd done that to get me to go to college, but I was like, fine, I'll go get a job. So I would like read an article in the Metro. Like, I was doing some temping for a while, and then read an article in the Metro for this company called OneTel. And they were like an Australian big like telco, but they went bust. There was loads of issues there, but they were bought by Centrica in the UK. But yeah, so I'd seen this ad in the article, and I went to like the interview, and it was like an interview process where they have like 50 people in a room, and they ask you like one question each in like a hotel lobby or something like that. It's very bizarre. And then you have to do like a week's training before you get it. Anyway, and Pete was like the senior marketing person at OneTel, and like I ended up being in like I was a web developer there. Like after I started, every person started in customer service or sales, and then like can progress up. They didn't employ externally at all, other than in customer service and sales. So I did that for a while, then ended up in web development. And the web development kind of sat within like the marketing team. So I kind of like knew Pete and, you know, a little bit, I guess, from just being there. But that wasn't directly managed by him or anything like that. And then, stayed in touch on LinkedIn, and, the kind of usual, kind of thing saying, congratulations on your new job, or maybe reached out for a couple of bits of support over the years and stuff like that. And then we were like, we wanted to run this brands event, and we were like, okay, who could we get? And
I literally had asked ChatGPT and it said, Pete Markey.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is
named him?
Yeah. Because I obviously put in,
Oh, got it.
Spat. I put in a background of, I want an ex-CMO or someone that who can talk about affiliate and blah, blah, blah. And they named Pete Margate.
Yeah.
And then...
And I think I said to you, I know someone good. And I said it's Pete. And then Helen's like, oh my God, ChatGPT just said the same thing. I'm like, well, let me just drop him a message and see, he hasn't heard from me for a while, right? He might not be able to do it. I just said, look, do you mind coming along and just kind of presenting in front of some brands, this event we're doing, this is what it's about. And within half an hour probably, come back and said, yeah, sounds good, here's my email, drop me a note, I'm happy to do it. And I'm like, it's just so such a nice kind thing to do as well.
Yeah.
And he's really loves our event now, and he's coming down to Margate for it. And every post we put on LinkedIn, he seems to like, and on Instagram and everywhere now. He's a super fan now after coming to our event, I think. But it's but also he's such a clever guy, right? And really actually is passionate about the affiliates.
Huge advocate for the affiliate channel. So he's now building this business with this company called Sweet Spot, and they work with celebrities to monetize their following in terms of launching businesses with them. So they're doing something with Joel Dommett and Ben Shepherd, and he's the CMO for all these businesses. And he's I want to get all of them into affiliate. He's so passionate. He literally was the person who was responsible for getting Boots really deep into the channel.
Yeah.
So he's been amazing.
Yeah. That's great. But that was at our brands event that we did. So then we did roundtables. And sorry, I go off track a lot. But
we did brands only. Yeah. So that doesn't make us any money. So,
do you have a multi-year plan then?
Yes. Yeah. We've got a 5-year plan. Yeah.
Cool. So that doesn't surprise me, being that you're only a couple of years in, but once this thing's properly up and running and scaled, it's a hugely profitable business, isn't it?
So the margins in events are big. So you're looking at 30% EBITDA margin, and gross profit event margin is can be up to 70%. So
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good business to be in for sure.
And all of the sort of what you just said is reinvesting in these early years in making it fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Keep doing that, because we appreciate it as attendees.
Totally. And actually, I love that because it's so fun. I'm not reporting on this and having to get to this budget number. It's so lovely to just we've decided we want to look at putting blow dries and nails in the VIP lounge, right? And it's if we want to do that, we can do that.
Because we've both got our nails done. So.
Yeah, we both want to get our nails done. Yeah. So it's just, or if we wanted to spend money on, doing a party, or we've got an idea. So we did that big debate in Manchester. Look, we actually spent a lot of money on that in the end, including £600 on voting paddles.
Essential.
You're never going to know that.
Yeah, that's a total loss for us if you just looked at that on its own. But the brand that we got from that, on
massive.
Social, as well as the content we can cut from it, as well as the relationships and everything around it, it acts as such a good feeder for the big show.
Guys, it was everywhere for weeks. And you know how LinkedIn now shows you old stuff, which is quite funny.
It's 2 weeks later now.
Yeah, it doesn't work sometimes for events. It's hey guys, I'm in the main hall. If anyone wants to have a meeting, and you look at it, it's 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Thanks, LinkedIn. But that one, some of our team members were involved in that as well, and I thank you guys for bringing us into that.
They were great.
But the amount of online reach and clout that got was crazy, and that I've got a little note here to ask you guys about that, because I want to. It's not even a question really; it's just a compliment. So me and Jamie are massive on RevWise, our agency, our creative and brand positioning, and all of these intangible things.
I can tell, and I've thought so much how we're aligned.
Yes.
With you on that. I actually said to you tonight, I've actually said it you guys are, more than any other company in this industry, so aligned with us in terms of values in that sense.
Totally, thank you.
Some of the stuff you're doing is just I'm that's so cool.
We're having these conversations on our Slack. Just this morning, I sent a screenshot in our marketing team with a few people, Angie and Jazz and Jamie, and I said, this is why these guys are dope, because it was you're doing this lie detector thing. It's just constant blow. This is what I talk about with RevWise marketing. I say, we're just going blow, left hook, right hook. And then someone sees it.
different.
If someone wants to copy it,
Yeah.
right, they can copy it. By
And
the
they
time
do.
they're
We
doing
get
it,
that all
no,
the
but by the
time.
time they're copying it, we're doing the next thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And so
We're
yeah.
leveling up
Yes,
again.
right.
Yeah.
So
We
that's
Well,
exactly
we've
what's
seen-
constantly happening.
We've seen some that happen with the chicken wings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think like, yeah, we're just trying to bring like new things to it, right? So like I
Yeah.
said, we did the hot wings challenge in the Manchester event. Like we're doing
we didn't want to
the
do that
lie
again.
detector thing. We're also doing like a cold ones thing, whereas like I watch a YouTube channel called Cold Ones, which is a couple of Australians that just get really drunk. And I'm like, how can I turn this into a talk?
If you
So,
don't answer the question, you have to take a shot.
Yeah, so it's not any one of these single
if
things.
you do,
though.
you
It's
probably have to take a
everything,
shot
like-
as well, by the way.
Okay.
It's the location. We've spoken about Margate. It's, you got, and that's what I want to get onto. The LinkedIn album covers homages.
Yeah.
So somebody's a speaker at your event. You've given them a mock-up of their favorite artist, which is hilarious, and also just it's so memorable and it's yours. Again, it's something you own. So as people who obsess over this ourselves and who have invested very early in our own business at the detriment of profit in this intangible brand stuff, we massively admire that, by the way.
Brilliant.
And I think you guys are
that
like,
almost makes me want to cry. Thank
no,
you
it's
so
like
much.
I would say that companies like you are, shaping the culture within the industry, and it's what we aspire to do as well. And I feel like it's very you excite us. Do you know what I mean? Like, and there's not a lot of companies in the space that do because they're going down the safe route.
Yeah.
Our internal kind of, and I shouldn't reveal this stuff, but we've got this internal kind of like brand positioning for Revwise, and part of it is we use the phrase culturally confident. We want to be a culturally confident
Not
agency.
a very good handbrake, am I?
Rein me in, baby. I'll just pull up our brand guidelines. Culturally confident, and you've got to be brave. And if everyone likes it, you've not done, you're not trying hard enough. If everyone likes it, you're not being brave enough, right? Some people won't like it, and that's okay, because for people to really love it.
But you want an opinion.
Yeah.
I don't care if you hate it.
Yeah.
I just want an opinion. I don't want the same bland shit.
And you want it seen.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So like those album covers compared to usual speaker graphics, which probably get like 5 likes on LinkedIn and one of them's your mum, is like they are getting an average of like 100 engagement.
But you should
still
now,
need to post my one, actually.
now all this stuff folds into your kind of pseudo IP.
Yeah.
So, and I expect to see that next year.
No,
Right? And
but
that
you won't
becomes-
see album covers again.
No?
Nah.
Okay.
That's done now.
Okay,
No.
cool. Well, that's
we've
cool.
we've already decided on
Yeah.
it, so yeah, we won't tell you what it is.
Spoil
yeah.
it now.
But I think it's like we don't have values written down or anything yet because we're such a baby business, I think. And it's definitely something I want to do at some point is have like a bit of a values day. But I think what I love is our values and our culture is just evolving so naturally. And that's all part of it. And I kind of like this whole like rebellious kind of culture we've got, which is like, disruptive, but it's like, pushing people's buttons a little bit. And
and the
making
festival
people-
that Jamie said, festivalization is a great phrase.
Yeah.
And the Glastonbury thing, I even made a note just like when you were talking earlier, because I want to go back and clip the bit about Glastonbury because I had not thought of it like that. But like if young industry of young people, millennials, Gen Z, etc., and a few lots of a whole melting pot of different generations, but a lot of young people, and culture moves fast, and to tick both boxes, the business for it to be productive business wise and really effective, and for it to be culturally relevant, fun and memorable, and something people look forward to, that becomes almost like a cult following behind it. That's what you guys are doing. I can see that. It's really clear. Like you're doing that really well. And so like just wanted to give you your flowers there.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That
And
means a lot, honestly.
let's talk about this lie detect thing. I only saw it this morning, but I was like, it's only one item.
I panicked posting that though because it's like Adam's going to be like, I thought you said it wasn't about catching me out.
He'll be all right.
No, I know.
Yeah, but like, it's funny. I looked at that and it was Adam Ross, CEO of Awin. You've got Linda O'Connell, VP
all
of
your
CJ.
friends.
Yeah.
Well, they're all
Friends of the pod.
Yeah, they're all podcast guests.
You need to get Tarun on.
So
That's
funny
what
you
he
said
said
that.
this morning,
I
yeah.
messaged,
He's great, by the way. He's so smart and impressive and cool.
This is Blue Light Card's chief commercial officer.
Yeah,
right?
and they're obviously doing so well.
Yeah.
And I think another business, pushing things forward and like what the future of the industry kind of looks
We'll
like.
have him on. We'll have him on.
Yeah, get him on.
So are you going to have like a scientist or like a doctor on stage to do
We've
these
got,
things?
we're going to have them on the screen behind. So you'll see like baseline heart rate and then they're going to be in like a mastermind style, like hot seats. And then, you'll see if their heart rate spikes. So.
This is a ridiculous idea, but how much would it cost to get Jeremy Kyle? And then there's someone's, and then he goes up to him and he goes, and it says, you're a dirty little liar. In the Jeremy Kyle stuff.
Yeah.
That would, or we could just get an impersonator.
Yeah, just get a Jeremy Kyle impersonator.
That would be funny.
I could do it. I'll do it. I'll
Yeah?
put some grey in my hair, get a suit, and
Okay.
call people dirty little liars to their face.
Okay.
But yeah, no, this kind of stuff is I think what's becoming part of your brand. So it doesn't matter if it's the hot ones, it doesn't matter if it's the lie detector thing. And like I said, when we come up with these ideas, we've got loads of crazy stuff planned this year, and we'll bring you into whatever we can. It would be great.
Yeah, let's do something together.
We've got a few
Sounds
things
like
planned
we should.
for this year, but I'm like, it doesn't matter if we do something that's someone's going to go and copy, because like I said, we will then be on to the next thing that they have.
Yeah,
even
exactly that.
because, and it also it's such a trope, but it's the highest form of flattery. And also, I want to be in an industry that's more done out. It is quite stale and boring at times.
Yeah.
And a lot of I'd say the big agencies that are the biggest in the world that we compete with, their websites, their branding, their stuff, to me, it looks like a recruitment firm or a consultancy or something like that. And so we personally we very intentionally wanted to drive a very different brand feeling for ourselves. But we felt like until you guys came along, there wasn't much else to really like inspire us and to see that. So yeah, like
Love
it's
that.
great.
And do you know what? I think like when we're doing this stuff as well, like I think like you mentioned about like being copied and stuff like that. Like I think like it just makes the industry better, right? Like not people won't necessarily do it as good as us, and sometimes they may, who knows, right? But like ultimately, like I think like especially in the event space, like things need to evolve a bit, things need to change a bit. Like
and that's where
again,
Affilifest
going away
came
from like that's why we did it, and that's why to move away from
we
the stuff
felt-
at conference centres or whatever else, right? And
Yeah.
like if other people can do that, can make the industry like a better place.
The
And
the
then like
industry
happy
deserves
days. Like,
better.
I've already seen some of that, and I think that's really good.
And it's also
So,
going to draw people in, like
Yeah.
new people in,
Totally, yeah.
like new to work or old to work.
But the next generation. So like,
yeah.
you know, we've talked about this a lot. Like one of the reasons we did it was because we wanted to get that generation who perhaps because of COVID just weren't
100%.
getting out to events as much. So we've been really, really intentional in our research in thinking about that persona. So like I always think of Alice Whitney from Virgin Media O2, right? She's the affiliate manager there. In like everything that we're doing, we're creating sponsor activations, like marketing, or is Alice gonna like this? Yeah, I'm always
I
like,
think she was on my table last night.
she's fun.
Yeah.
She's fun and so smart. She's like such good value in a roundtable on like anything. She's great. So yeah, we're really intentional about like the way we design everything for our persona.
I think
our
like it's
persona.
just, I think like about the COVID stuff as well. Like I remember like when I started the TopCashback the early days when I was doing like UK partnership stuff there, like I would be like running between different offices for different meetings on the same day, like working out the quickest way to get a choose from one network to another network or one client to another client and stuff like that. And like that's just changed now. Like I remember there was a story that one of the partnership guys was telling me recently where like they'd gone to a meeting at a network's office and the client was there and they were there and the account manager for the network was on the phone on Teams or whatever it was, right? And you're just like, how crazy is that in the world that we live in now? And like, I think like because of that, like people just aren't like, before COVID, like it would be encouraged, like go and have meetings, like clients would have like affiliate days where they'd bring all their affiliates along and stuff like that. And it just happens far, far less now. And that makes the events that we go to so much more important because sometimes this is the only chance across the year that you're going to meet with like some important clients maybe, right?
Yes.
And you know, so like, I think like that's why like this event was needed and why you know, these events need now because
exactly. But we don't want people to feel like they're being forced to go because their boss told them to go. We want people to actually want to go.
Yeah.
And that's where the fun kind of comes in.
That's definitely happening. I can tell you now.
Their bosses to go.
I know. Yeah.
Before we were like agreed, before we said we'd do the podcast on the stage and became officially involved, and obviously got our stand and everything else. We were under a lot of pressure from our staff. Because you got fucking Ferris wheels and and they're just like, oh, yeah, that one. We're like, well, is it in the budget? And the pressure on that, and you really create advocates when you make the event that fun in the star. So it's working.
And I think doing that like big debate, we kind of tapped in to a slightly more junior audience than usual because we were like intentionally, well, it was Kirsten and Jack whose idea was to platform some voices that you weren't typically see on conference
not the top senior
stages.
leadership.
So it's, maybe a level down. also. And I think that worked so well for us because it got us into maybe some people who hadn't necessarily known about us so much before.
And they're going to be the next generation of leaders, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We always try and do it with some of our speakers and stuff like that on the panels. Like, I'm really big fan of like the panel format. Like, we have got some different formats this year. But like, yes, you want
Linda
like,
bigged it up on the podcast.
Yeah.
The panels.
Yeah, no, true, yeah. But like, you need like, it's good to have people with experience, right? Because you need to like hear like the industry leading stuff that's happening and stuff like that. Like, we need that kind of content. But we also want people where it's like, is their first time to kind of get on stage, and like, especially with something like a panel, because like I'm probably very different from everyone else, right? I don't prepare for panels at all, and I like.
He wouldn't even let me say, should we agree some things that we're definitely going to say today in the Uber on the way, and he was like, no, I don't prepare.
Has it ever gone wrong for you? Doing that?
No, she's only the only time.
Didn't you fall asleep on a panel once?
Oh yeah, okay. That is a fair point. Yeah, okay. That's probably one of the worst
boring
things
conference, right?
It was also in Amsterdam. It was the day after like Queen's Day or whatever it was, and then it was only when your eyes are just closing slightly. So I don't know if you would
just
call it asleep or just but no, I don't think so. Like, I think like for me, like it's kind of like saying like I'm doing this every day. Like, I'm not going to join a panel talking about something that I don't know about, right? Because like there's no point. I'm going to join a panel talking about things like I'm doing on a daily basis, and as long as I can do that, I don't need to know the questions. And actually, when I did the Hot Wings one, I said to like the panelists, I'm like, look, I'm not going to tell you the questions. Like, if you really want them, then like maybe I will. Or if there's anything you want to avoid, don't tell me now. Like, I prefer just to rock up on the day and like, let's just have a proper conversation.
Did anyone ask for the questions?
No.
That's way more engaging for the audience. And it's way more authentic for content.
I remember I went to the show. I won't say what it was. And like,
no,
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It was a show in the US like a good couple of years ago.
Someone spiked his milkshake.
And then I went to this panel, and it was run by another publisher. It was run by another.
Sorry, what time of year was this?
I'm not going to. Let's not do that. But anyway, it was run by a publisher, and like they had some like brands and stuff on stage, and then like they had like cards that they were reading out from and stuff like that, and like the number of times that publisher's name was said during the thing, it was so like put together, and like the piece of feedback I gave was like, if I was doing a drinking game for every time that publisher's name was said in that show, I'd be in hospital like with like liver damage or something, right? And it wasn't meant to. It was obviously meant to be. Sorry,
was it a sponsored one?
Apparently not, but again, we don't do any sponsored talks. We don't have people pay for talks. Like, I've always been a kind of against that as well, because like. Again, that's not what you want to see. You want good content. You want genuine stuff. You don't want scripted stuff. You don't want like, it's fair that like
you don't want trends.
You don't want like, don't get me wrong, not every panelist will be able to go along and not know what questions are going to be asked. But like, we also like. But like, part of what I've said when we're doing the panels as well is I'm like, I want as much audience participation as possible. Like, we've rebuilt, like, as you said at the start maybe, but I only do this kind of like part-time, like in my evenings and weekends, right? Because I've got the full-time job at TopCashback and a very demanding job to worry about. But like, I'm really into like building stuff in AI now. So I've built like a replacement to like Slido, which is like, for answering questions. Like, this year, hopefully we can have people like asking questions in advance and helping the moderators know what people want to be talking about. But even on the day, like, the idea is that people ask questions, they vote them up, all that kind of stuff. And like, run through some preset questions first if you want to do that. But like, make sure you leave like half your time to actually like answer like what's in there. And I remember like sometimes that's not happened, and I've been like at the front of the stage like frantically waving down the moderator and like pointing at the screen and trying to get their attention and make sure I do like ask those questions, because we want people to like actually ask the things that people want to talk about.
I also think it's a sign of a good session if you've got a lot of questions. It's actually
and we always
really
have lots of questions.
Good way of rating as a speaker. If you can see that there are lots of questions, well, that means you've done really well.
It can be really awkward. Like, I mean, I'll be honest, coming to Affilifest in June and doing the podcast on stage, at least it's a podcast that we're used to doing the podcast format, but I've never been on an industry stage. So I'll probably be more nervous about that than anything I'll do this year.
What are you going to wear?
It's a good question.
Well, we had some thoughts.
Are you going to match?
Can I say? No. He said, should we go in, because of the album cover you gave me, he goes, should you dress in a full Elvis outfit?
And I'll do Freddie.
And I'll dress in Freddie. And I said to him, mate,
amazing.
Well, I sent him a voice note.
Why do I think that idea would usually have come from you?
It would. Like,
I'm a surprise.
I love that. You're the dark horse.
And I sent him a voice note saying, mate, I love it, But I'm nervous enough as it is. Like being dressed like fucking Elvis Presley. Right?
Maybe you can dress like that for the evening, right? And,
in a way, I think that takes the pressure
Yeah.
off. I really do, because then it's just like, well, you know, you already
can you
look
play
like
as
Elvis.
well?
It's
Can you
like-
play and sing?
I can definitely sing. I've got a lovely vibrato.
Okay.
Oh,
And Jamie
nice.
hears it in the car every now and then. I can hit the high notes, baby. But
Yeah.
I haven't played
Wow.
guitar for many years, but I do know like pentatonic scale, so I do like solos and stuff. But,
Really?
but no, I'm just a massive Elvis fan as well. I got the portrait. But we are going to do some fancy dress stuff around our content this year, but it ain't going to be on the stage at Affilifest.
Okay.
Um,
Well, if you're not gonna dress up, then maybe you can do a little Elvis rendition to kind of gear it
Come
on.
out to.
James,
Do you know, if
James is
what
desperate
happens-
to
if
get
what
an affiliate
happens-
band together.
Yeah, that is very
That's
true,
what
to be
he's
do you
fair.
play
really
something?
for
Do
here.
you play something?
No, I can't play a
Okay,
thing. I
He
can sing
sings.
moderately badly, maybe. I don't know.
He
Like
does a great Little Mermaid part of your world.
Part of your world.
Yeah.
Look at this stuff, isn't it neat?
Yeah.
wouldn't you think my collection's complete?
I know, but I can go all day.
Have you
I'm-
ever done a karaoke event?
Is this a? Oh no, I've told
No.
everyone anyway. I was about to say it's a
What's the
surprise, but I've already
secret?
told people. We are going to have a karaoke room at the after
Nice.
party.
Oh,
So yeah,
coming out on my
so
cage and I'll
that
be
was
doing
like
just
Yeah.
fine.
that was like one of my requests. Like, I
What's
don't
your
put in there-
karaoke song?
I haven't
Ooh.
karaokeed for a long time, but I did the Kooks Naive.
Shut
Okay.
up. That's one of my favourite songs.
But wait a second, I did it in Hammersmith when I was about 18 after work, and it was
Not saying it's
your fault because I know it's Rockyoke. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yes.
a fucking live band,
Yeah.
and you get to do karaoke.
I've
One
done
of-
it
You're
once.
talking
and, like,
James's language.
Yeah.
One of the songs was I picked was Naive, and I tore the place down.
a
Did
banger.
Jamie?
Did you? Do you remember I told you mine in the car the other day or the other week? It's a
Oh.
bit of a niche
Oh,
one.
1, 2, 3.
You won't get it. You won't get it.
Wait, not Nick
Come
Cave.
on.
No, it's not.
Do you
Nick
two
Cave.
know each other? Come on.
yes,
What
it's
is
not
it?
dead air, isn't it? Sorry.
Blue Jeans by Neil
Yeah,
Diamond.
yeah, and I
Ah.
didn't know it.
I
and
also
I didn't-
love Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
I didn't know it, and you played it to me in the
Yeah.
car,
Yeah.
and I still didn't know it. And then you said you were in Thailand when you were traveling, and you basically did it, and they were
No
all-
one knew what it was. But
I-
that was kind
I
of
love
the,
Neil
the
Diamond.
magic for me.
Whenever I go
yeah.
to
Yeah.
America and do karaoke, and I'll do some like Robbie Williams or like one of my big ones I do is like I like doing like a lot of like slow songs, I guess. So but some fun ones sometimes. But I'm also the one that I'm probably best at is like a Take That song.
Okay.
And oh my god, what is it called?
How Deep Is Your Love?
No.
Million Love Songs.
Yes, thank you. You got that in. And yeah, so I sing that, and like, but like I did it in the US recently. Like, not a single person.
Because Take
knew what
That
it
aren't
was.
big over there.
Take that.
No.
No, take that's British. But what kind
Yeah.
of? You said slow stuff. What kind of stuff? Like R&B, like
No, like mainly like Take a Million Love
Oh, I
Songs.
was
Like, it's,
imagining,
like
like-
I've done, but I also like I'm also quite known for doing like Stand by Eminem. Like I was at a Ragtime event recently, and like I did it
Was
there like
known
the
for
year
it.
before or something, and like people going wild for it. It was like, and then like I went back this year and I was like, I'm not going to do it. Like I've retired that song,
But
and I had people from Ragtime come up to me
you have
saying,
to
"You
give
have
the
to do
fans
it. You
what they
have to do
want."
it."
right.
Yeah.
I don't.
Or,
I'm
like-
going to expose myself here as an online creep, which I am. I always look people up, try and learn about them, absorb everything that's on the internet about them. I've seen your video of you from about 15 years ago doing a
Okay,
stand.
nice, okay.
There you
And
go.
he does know every word, as do I. I think we grew up in the
Maybe
same.
you should do a duet at Affilifest.
Yeah.
The only problem I have with
Karaoke.
duets, like I
You don't like them stealing
I
your
don't
thunder?
like people coming on stage. Like if I'm doing a song,
I'll do the
worst
Dido
thing
bit.
that happens
I
is
can do the Dido bit.
I like doing that bit as well.
This
This happened to me. When I took my wife away to abroad for the first time. Like she was like, "Oh, I can come and do the Dido bit." I'm like, "No, I'm doing that bit. Like, just sit there and watch me."
Listen. It's the James show. It's the James show. Sit down.
Like if it's like shallow and like you need a male and female part, like it makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah.
Right? But like, I probably would as well. But yeah, no, I think like for me, like I just love getting on stage and singing.
Tell me
like, it's-
something. No, I thought we could get going.
We could do it, yeah. I don't have my voice up for it today. There was a lot of talking last
You
night.
could be Gaga. Yeah, I think if you do karaoke, even though I don't even drink, and normally that's a drunk activity, I might get involved. I might have to
Yeah.
get involved.
It doesn't have to be. I went to, when my dad turned 60, I think it was. I hope I get this right because he might listen. We like took him to like karaoke for his birthday, but like he booked it and it was like it was like 1:00 in the middle of the day in like Islington somewhere, I think it was, at the karaoke bar there. And we had like a private room as you'll do, but like there's kids parties going on at the same time. And like I was ill the day before, so I drove. And it was just like, it wasn't a drunken affair at all. And it was still fun, right? So you can still like, I think you can still rock it out.
Yeah,
You're a bit
I
more
think so.
like, you're a bit more self-conscious, but like,
Yeah.
if you like it, then like,
Yeah. So karaoke after party.
yes. Or karaoke as part of the after
As
party,
part of
yeah,
the after
as well
party,
as well as the beach thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I'm going to ask you. I've just made up a new item on the spot.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you guys a few things. Literally just made this
I
up.
am enjoying the items.
Would you have these at a potential future Affilifest event, hypothetically? Number
This
one.
is where you find out my boundaries.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Should we
yeah.
do a 1, 2, 3, yes and no, and see if we
Yeah,
answer
I've
the
only
same as
got-
well?
I've only got two.
Merging a feature.
Okay. A falconer.
Yes.
James,
Oh, sorry.
James isn't keen. James thinks it's corny.
I love animals,
Yeah, I like animals. I just
not birds.
don't know if you need an eagle at an event.
It's a falcon.
Right.
I actually don't like animals. No, maybe, yeah.
Okay, he's not keen. I'll do the 1, 2, 3 this time. Would you have axe throwing? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's dope. Would you have fire breathing? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
No, it's just been
Ooh,
done. I've
been
seen
done.
that
Really?
at too many events.
No, that's fair.
It's not new.
Fire show or fire breathing? Right.
Fire breathing. I've seen it at like event parties, like proper standard conference.
I forget you've done events, right?
Yeah.
We thought we were so
Hundred-
cool last year when we had a fire troop at our summer party.
Awkward.
Well, it was. I stand behind
It
it.
was the first time.
It was
Do you know,
pretty cool.
I went to one of Hannah's events when she was at Clarion, and it was in San Diego, and I stayed in Ocean Beach in San Diego, which is like the coolest place in the world. And like on one of the nights I was kind of like down walking by the beach. It's just, and I've stayed there a few times, and every time I see the same guy, he just like stands next to the beach, not like a busker or anything, just practicing fire breathing.
That's cool.
And like, it's just such a
We're not
weird
having
thing to
him.
see. No, it's maybe for the,
He
It sounds cheap.
worse
It sounds
than
cheap.
normal. It's
Well,
true.
our Christmas and summer parties in our business are becoming quite legendary in the business
Yeah.
because we put so much effort into planning them and then we invest in them big. And we use like a wedding organisation company to like put it
Brilliant.
together, and we've built a good rapport with them. And he knows that we're crazy, so he turns up to the meetings and he's like, "Right, guys, I've got I know you're going to want it." Shows the ideas. I'm like, "Next," and then he gives another idea. I'm like, "Yeah, I like that, but can we make it more crazy? Can you try that?" And it doesn't matter what you throw at him. He goes, "I think we can do that," and he'll go and
I
work
love
it out.
people like
So let me
that,
give
Sounds
you-
like Emma.
let me give you an example.
Yeah.
So
I was like, I can do anything. It's just going to cost a lot of money.
Christmas party before last, I was like, we want a surprise for our staff.
Yeah.
So the summer party that year, we had the fire troop, but no one knows about these things. So like we're having our normal party, it's great, drinks, bar, DJ, etc. Then everyone gets ushered down to the beach, and then boom, they start this big fire show, and it was incredible, right? And so that was the big wow there. Then at Christmas that year, we had organised to have a guy come out dressed as Santa with
That's original.
well, stay with me. Stay with me. I want your honest opinion on this. And if you think it's shit, say. But a guy comes out dressed as Santa. Everyone's like, "Oh, great." And he's got loads of sacks of presents. Everyone comes up one at a time and he gives everyone a present from Revwise. And then the DJ puts on the track, and then Santa, actually, he's a trained break dancer.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
then
yeah.
everyone made a circle, and then he starts doing a break dancing
That's
routine.
cool. Although the whole surprise thing, there was a time at events where that was all everyone did. There were these singing waiters and they were everywhere.
Which is one of the suggestions.
Yeah, you know, and so it's usually at like gala dinners and awards, and everyone had the same kind of ones.
Although,
that was like a whole thing. It's probably been long enough that could come back around.
An
gonna
early
struggle.
TopCashback Christmas party, I dressed as Santa and then did like do some break dancing at the time. I had a dance off with our designer at the time, Warren, I think his name was.
It's all been done
So,
before. isn't
yeah,
it? It's
so,
all
yeah.
been done before. But yeah, so then that was one of the ideas.
What were the presents though? That's what I'm interested
Oh,
in.
it was Revwise merch.
And then
Is your merch good?
yeah,
Yeah.
like embroidered hoodies and
like-
stuff, like proper
That's
stuff.
important.
Yeah.
That's like our whole thing as well.
Yeah,
like
people like come to
I
us and say
bet you
like,
have
where
good
can I get
merch.
these t-shirts and stuff
We
like that?
like just get our t-shirts and stuff designed. We don't just like, stick a logo on
Yeah.
a t-shirt.
I'm big on embroidery,
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
but it's only for
um,
the staff. We don't do it like
Embossed.
Oh,
Have you tried embossed? That's
No.
cool. Where it's like kind of, I don't know how they do it, but it's like raised in
That's
the
what-
same material.
Oh, that's what I meant. Is that called embossed? Yeah, when it's like thick, like almost like
Not stitched though.
Oh,
No, it's even cooler than embroidery.
interesting.
Actually, no. It was that party when we gave out the. It was like a Christmas themed logo. It was like a limited edition
Oh,
T-shirt.
cool.
So it's a Revwise logo, but it had like a Santa hat on one of them, and then it was
Very
all wrapped
good.
in lights.
Yeah.
So we just tried to go like the extra mile.
Love that.
And then last year I was like, oh, how can we make a Christmas surprise? Like you said, it gets exhausting. It's like, how can we surprise people? So it wasn't too crazy, but we just had like elves on stilts handing out drinks when you arrived and stuff like that. Like we had some.
Did you get the stilts idea from Black Tie? Eamon Black Tie?
No.
They love a bit of a stilt.
They
At
love
any
it.
A1 event.
Well, what, the
They
A1
had it in
think tank?
Portugal, actually.
Yeah, any A1 event, you will see people on stilts.
It's a good
They even
spectacle.
had them in Chicago.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah. It's almost like become part of the brand of their events, is that people are on stilts.
Do you think Adam Ross just really loves people on stilts?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
We have to ask him that question.
Okay. Yeah.
Can we take a detour into maybe some less exciting and festival type sort of stuff about Affilifest? Because we've got you here, James, and you're the commercial director for TopCashback.
Yeah.
Massive publisher in the affiliate world. I want to ask you, if that's all right, just some bits about what's going on right now, because there's been some big movements in the industry, and we want to hear it from your point of view and learn about it. And I'll be honest with you, like, I'm not on the tools on affiliates side. I run the marketing and sales team, although I obviously understand it deeply. I'm not as up to date as some of our team members will be, and they were talking about it in Slack. By the way, I thought you were the founder of TopCashback until Jamie sat with the founder on the plane to Vegas.
A lot of people say this, right? And like, I don't know if I always correct them, but
But you got, Mike is one of the co-founders.
he is, yeah. Mike, it's actually like, we can go on to the topic, but it's actually like a huge like British success story, right? Like they've had no investment ever into the business.
Yeah.
Like they basically are both developers. Like they've worked together like another business beforehand. Both kind of done a few of their own things in between as well. Like had the idea around like, cashback sites existed, but none at the time were 100% cashback sites. So they kind of had the idea of saying, well, wouldn't this be crazy if we can do this? Or we think we can find ways of we'll find ways of making it make money in the future kind of thing, really. Like starting with like Google, like AdSense or whatever it was on the site. And now I've turned it into a business that's 300 plus people, that's generating hundreds of millions of pounds of revenue, and billions and billions of sales for our advertisers and across like the world. So it's in UK, US, China, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Norway. I've probably missed Australia. That's a big one. Sorry, and I may have missed some out there as well. So yeah,
it's still privately owned.
Yeah, still privately owned. Yeah.
And what I love about Mike is he's so sort of unassuming and humble.
Yeah.
Yet his AI WhatsApp pictures that he creates are just genius. Like I love them, and it's just like you wouldn't imagine the same person.
Yeah,
great. In those
like they're both like amazing people, right?
Yeah.
And like I've been there for 15 years now, and like I've been there for 15 years because of them, and because of the great team that we have there, and I still, someone was actually asking me when it was, I think we were at a Manchester event recently, and they were saying like, what would you like if you weren't doing what you were doing? What would you do? And I'm like, do you know what? Like nothing else. Like, I'm still like happy to like get up every day. Like, how many people can say that they're like happy to like enjoy their role and like get up every day and still be happy? And like, and I've added obviously the Affilifest piece onto, to it in my spare time as well. And like that's great. I love that. Right. Yeah. So like, but I think it's amazing like what they've achieved, and like, they've done it, like they've got this like fair play policy, which is like the core part of our business around like how to treat people, and like whether that's like staff and clients and everything else. And it's such like a huge part of what we do as a business, and I think it's really important, and that's how they built the company to, I think number of employees 35 originally actually, when I joined 15 years ago, and then now there's, as like I say, many hundreds of
millions in revenue, generating billions in sales for advertisers, like completely famous in the UK, consumer likewise as well. People who are into cashback and that sort of stuff are really into it. A good friend of mine, George, is like obsessed, and he'd be more impressed. We just signed a major client this morning. We're very excited about it. Creed, aftershave. So big name. I personally love this. I've been buying their stuff for years. I love it. My wife was.
Oh, that's a great one then.
When they came to us, which is always nice because we're a big, aggressive outbound sales team, but when they come to us, it's amazing. But my mate George couldn't give a shit about that. He's more excited that I'm probably talking to you today. TopCashback is a huge platform. And how many users does it get, like a month? Or?
Yeah, so I mean, we don't give away active numbers, but we've got like tens of millions of members registered for our site. So
what's everyone's last thing they got cashback on? I love this question.
Oh, mine was
Can I have a look?
So actually, what's a fairly new feature of our site is we've kind of allowing like for like in store and bits like that, but via like buying the gift cards. So you can buy gift cards for both like online in store. So the last thing I bought was actually, I went to see the new I don't know if it's controversial or not, but I went to see a new Michael Jackson film, and I bought like my Odeon tickets via there. And the good thing about it as well is like you get cashback like from that like straight away. Like it's
How much do you get for
payable,
that?
so.
So I'm not a big cashback user. I'm too.
It goes from like
But cost of coffee, you get 40p for a £5 voucher.
But the cinema's getting expensive these days, right? I went with my wife and kids recently. And I was like, once I'd done the food, I swear I did about £1.
Yeah, I did.
Like going to the cinema. I remember when it was like £5 a ticket. And
I paid like. It feels
But
like about £10 for a pick and mix. Like,
if you go to an everyman, then it's even more expensive.
Well, that's worth it. That's
but it's amazing.
Special experience.
Yeah.
So I was at like a whatever Cineworld. Is UCI still thing? Anyway, but how much would, just so I know, like if I was to do a good offer on a cashback and go to the cinema, how much money am I getting back into my cashback account?
I think, like, to be fair, I think Odeon is fairly low. It might be like a 2 to 4% kind of amount. So Odeon isn't a huge amount. But like some of the gift cards are like 50%, right? Depending on what you're buying. Some are, some like Odeon where there's less margins. You'd think there'd be more margins, but are slightly lower. But yeah, it can.
But this is why
just like every offer on our site can range, right? From like, get your VPN and get like 100% cash back, right? Or, get something from, I don't know, Argos and get 1% at times, or eBay or something.
But it's about the 1%, the Argos, the cinema. If I'm a regular cinema user, I go to Nando's a lot and they're on there for argument's sake. I'm just throwing it out, right? This is why you have these super users. You have casual users and you have super users. And this is my observation to my friend George, for example. If he does that, if he lets that influence all of his purchases, which he does, and he won't buy something without cashback, right? Yeah. Then he's racking up quite a lot in a month. And in a year, he's racking up a hell of a lot because 2, 3, 4, 5% here, there, and everywhere. That really adds up, doesn't it?
One of our suppliers who does all of our signage, he was so excited to see that we do this event in partnership with TopCashback because he's like the biggest cashback user. He pays for his entire company's Christmas party on the cashback.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's getting like
a huge amount in his
tens of thousands a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that we want to try and do like more this year is like share like more of those kind of things. I think like there's always been question marks over like the incrementality that keeps coming up and stuff like that, for example. And I think MMMs are kind of...
So just, sorry, pause you there. I like to break down jargon. So incrementality, what you mean for anyone who's not uninitiated is you're talking about brands who might run a cashback offer on their affiliate program. Yeah. They're asking, would this sale from George have happened anyway if the cashback offer wasn't live, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And that's the debate. That
I think it's a word that doesn't even exist in the dictionary as well, right? So yeah, and the reason, and that also means it is always measured like differently by
What's
clients,
your instinct
right?
tell you on that question?
My instinct is that there is not a single marketing channel that is 100% incremental. But like from what we hear from our users and what we see, like I think there's definitely incrementality in cashback.
Do you know what my instinct tells me? Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
my instinct tells me is that it's probably varies wildly from user to user and sale to sale, right? And so you've got to take a mass average because there are people like my mate George who you would have lost that sale were it not for that offer. So you saved you the sale, you needed it, and so the incrementality is 100%.
Yeah.
And then there's other people who probably just check in passively. Right, if we're being honest.
I think, it also depends on what you're buying, right? Like at the end of the day, like most items that are sold at stores now, you can probably buy somewhere else. So like if you're not offering cashback, like the users will go somewhere where they can get cashback. And like, don't get me wrong, I think like for us, it's really important this year to do two things, I think. One is, which is just like show more data, and whether that's like surveys we've done with customers recently, whether that is, data that we can get from like various different sources of our own data, and whether that's working with like other partners to kind of try and build case studies, whatever else. Like share more of it and tell more good news stories. Like
that latest ad campaign I thought was really clever.
Yeah.
It tapped into the feeling that you get when you get your cash back.
Yeah, the power of spending.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, no, it's
Is that your new head of marketing?
it's a new head of marketing he's going to be speaking at Affilifest. So,
yeah.
But yeah, no. So I think we need to share that, and I think we also like need to say like, well, we need to look at tools and evolutions to our own product and say like, how can we be like further up the funnel? Like, what else we need to be doing there? There's some stuff I can't talk about yet, but there's some stuff that's gone live. I'll tell you after. But yeah, there's some stuff that's gone live this week that we're testing around like bits and pieces like that as well. And yeah, some really cool stuff that's coming out. And like one of the things that we're trying to do is like work out how we like innovate faster and test things faster, and not in front of every user, but try and find kind of good ways of doing that. And I think that's like really exciting because I think like we need to, and hopefully that some of that stuff will really help prove it out. But
Yeah.
Sorry, we didn't even cover. I think you were going to ask about the ICO.
I
stuff
was
as well,
going to
right?
ask
So,
about. Yeah, we'd be remiss not to speak about that, given it's
Yeah.
such recent news.
So I don't know anything about this, by the way, embarrassingly.
Yeah.
Can someone explain to me?
So-
I think let's James.
Yeah, so the
explain.
ICO Information Commission's Office.
Yeah.
I hope you got it right. Basically, when like GDPR and PECA came in, which are the data privacy regulations that came in from Europe, they are things that mean that you now have the big cookie banners and have to accept or reject every time you go on any website in the UK now or Europe. And we were effectively like, I kind of took on a project internally of saying like our conversion rate is dropping. Like we need to understand like what's going on, like how much this is down to tracking and like some of the old like Apple privacy things and stuff like that. And then, and how much of it is down to kind of users kind of declining cookies. And we solved kind of the other piece of Apple by, all of the networks upgrading their technology, but we couldn't solve like the consent piece and the decline of cookies kind of ourselves effectively. But when we looked more into the regulations, like we were fairly certain basically there was an exemption for cashback because there's some stuff in the law and like, caveat, I'm not a lawyer, first of all, but like there's some stuff, basically what the law said is that if the user is requesting a specific service, then consent is not required. So we kind of looked at that. We went to our lawyers and said, okay, look, do you agree? And they did. So we got them to like write something up to say like, here's where there is a exemption in law for cashback sites and loyalty sites. And took that to some advertisers and they were like, yeah, you might be right, but it's a grey area and we're not going to do it. So we kind of put our hair out and saying like, well, what do we kind of do now? And that's when, we were able to kind of, I think it was like a Thursday night and I just got back from work. It's like 10 p.m. I was on LinkedIn and I was like, let me just try and add like this guy from the ICO who's like head of innovation. Let me just try and add into my LinkedIn. I had like one mutual connection from from Steve at Moonpool. And then like he accepted and I was like, let me try sending him a message. Like, and I wasn't really hoping for much here, like or expecting much, to be honest. So I said, look, here's our problem. We think there's a valid exemption here. But we need to like understand, like, do you agree? And like, is there any way of, proving this? And there was a channel to do that, right? There's a question Q&A section on the ICO website that you can go and put a question out and, ask them, etc. And then they will respond and they'll respond publicly on their website. So we did that effectively. We said like, tell us if we think we're right, this exemption is this, and, explain to them about how cookies work and everything else. And it does exist under certain circumstances. It's all on the ICO website. You can see it. And so that happened in October 2024. And then we then had to, what's 2024? Sorry, I had to go back. And then we then had to go to, all of these brands who had their tracking behind consent and say, look, there is an exemption here. It's on the ICO's website that proves that there is. You need to change your tracking for cashback and loyalty sites so that we can effectively get this updated. And for us, it's about, we don't really make money from the cashback. We're 100% cashback site the majority of the time, right? So for us, this isn't about us making more money. This is about the users having a good service.
So there's no cookie. They don't get the cashback, the user, right?
So what would happen previously is if they decline the cookies, they wouldn't get the cashback. What happens now on the majority of the brands, there's still some to sort out, is that we've changed it so that if they're coming via a cashback site, then regardless if someone says decline, the cashback will still track.
Got it.
And we've worked with networks to get the technology in place to be able to do that. And we see our conversion rates increase by 30 to 40% on near enough everyone that we do that on. And like, again, for us, it isn't about money for us. This is around the users having a good experience, because otherwise they have to put through a claim or a TQ, and then not every customer will do that because they can't be bothered. And they'll just say like, it's a bad experience for them as a TopCashback member, and maybe they won't use TopCashback again, but it's also a bad experience for them at the brand level as well.
I was going to say, the merchant, if you're running the cashback, that means that they're working with you through their affiliate program anyway.
Yeah.
So they want it to work.
Yes, most of them do. Like there is also sometimes the question over saying, well, hold on a minute, we're going to have to be paying out on all these sales we're getting for free.
Yeah.
Terrible argument. Don't get me wrong.
You're running cashback or you're not,
because the sales are still coming from us, right?
Yeah.
Now the ISO more recently, as of a couple of weeks ago, then updated even further. So in their actual PECA guidelines now, there's like a section on like exemptions, and cashback is now listed as an listed as a valid exemption. So it's not even just on the Q&As now, it's on like the main kind of rules and guidelines. But hopefully like all of affiliates will be an exemption in the future. Like I know the APMA have been working really closely, speaking to the ICO. They came and presented to the APMA in a session fairly recently around what they're trying to do and some of the kind of law changes going to come in the future. So one day we hope that like this won't just be an exemption for kind of cashback. This will be an exemption for all types of publishers. Whether we'll get there, I don't know, and whether there'll be a valid exemption in the future. But like the amount of money that's being left, like just think about like I say, like 30 to 40% increase in conversion rate, the millions of commission that is going untracked and that effectively advertisers again for free. Like I'm sure advertisers will be happy getting it for free. Don't get me wrong, but like it shouldn't be, and it. Ruins the partnership.
So what is ultimately your message to brands right now? And then what is your plan as a business regarding this?
To be honest, we've been working on this for like some time now, for over a year, and we've gone and contacted like every single brand that is behind consent, or a lot of them anyway, of the bigger ones, and been working with them on saying, look, let's change your tracking. It's often a really simple kind of update to GTM or to Google Tag Manager to be able to do that. The networks all have technology to do it. Like, make the change if you haven't already, because it's in the best interest of the cashback users and their users. Effectively, they're our shared customers, and
it will reduce their customer support.
Yeah,
well.
Absolutely. Yeah, and ours. But and it just means less bad experiences. And like I say, like we've been working on this project for over a year now, since like that original kind of Q&A section went up there, and like we've had some. We've got a great team in place to do that, and like we've had some real successes and some of the biggest brands in the world that have made these exemptions. So yeah, it's a numbers game of getting everyone to do it. And it takes time to get like tech sign off and all that kind of stuff, right? But there's very few number of merchants that have come back to us and said no, and as in like I could probably count them on one hand. So it's not that people come back and say no; it's just that some of them it takes some time to go through DPOs and then to go through tech and everything else. But yeah, I mean. I think it's great. It's adding more to channel. And like I say, like for me, it's a case of, from an advertiser perspective, like also think of the other publishers as well and like how they're losing out. Work with the APMA, like see if we can find a way of bringing all of affiliate to not require consent, because if we can, like that's going to massively like, increase the industry and really kind of, pay out what's meant to be paid
well
out,
done
really.
for hustling your way into kind of like actually working it. Like you said, you add the guy on LinkedIn, you kind of put your case forward, like you're actually single-handedly driving that change, which is quite...
I'm sure my lawyer hated it, don't get me wrong, but when I'm like reaching out saying, I'm like, oh, guess what I did last night? But yeah, that's just my spirit, I guess.
That's the correct attribution though, right? Would it have happened if you hadn't put in those extra efforts in there? Probably not, right?
Who knows?
This is about taking action.
But yeah, like that's just who I am, I guess. So.
Hannah, you're an event person in the affiliate space, like been around it a long time though, but you've never been an affiliate manager or anything? Like I'm wondering, like,
no,
how much of this do you follow? Like,
yeah, like I really try and follow it. I think it's really, I like to see myself as being in the affiliate industry because rather than being in the events industry. And I think
you definitely are.
Oh, thank you. And I think that's kind of part of, what works really well is obviously James is actually in the industry, but, we're very, very close to the industry in terms of, keeping a pulse on what's going on. And I regularly have like research calls with a lot of our customers on their pain points and all that kind of stuff. And that's
you can talk the language clearly.
Yeah.
I would say any member of our team who isn't on delivery, they're still in the world.
I was just thinking the same. So Jazz, our marketing manager, all of our sales team, like they can't be to the level of like James or our affiliate managers.
And they don't need to be.
But they pick up enough to be able to like,
you can have a conversation and understand, and you need to.
And have a view. They can have a view. Like you'll probably have a view on the ICO stuff, right? And why it's good or what, and you'll have a view that's informed, but without being like it being actually having a stake in it necessarily directly.
I'd argue that Hannah probably knows more than like some affiliate managers on some of this stuff, right? Because like I think like a lot of this just comes down to passion, right? As well, right? Like it's like some people treat like this as a 9 to 5 in their job and everything else, and that's absolutely fine. Like that's what people are being paid for. Like
that's definitely
I think like where we are and where I've always been at kind of TopCashback and in all my previous roles and where Hannah is with Affilifest and everything that she's done, it's like that's not who we are. Like I love this industry. I've been doing it for so long. I wanted to succeed. And so I'll like be working, like I often work crazy hours. Like my kids are grown up now, it's a bit easier, right? So
how old are they?
So my eldest is 23. He actually works TopCashback.
Oh, nice.
He's coming to Affilifest.
In our Australia business. My next one down is so in the UK, but for our Australian side. My next one down is 21 today, so I'll be seeing him later on after this podcast. And he's an army musician, so he was interviewed for the BBC yesterday, and
that's super
he's the youngest composer ever to have a piece for the
Amazing.
Oh God, what's it called? The King's Birthday. I forget now. Troop in the
wow.
Colour.
Troop-
Thank you.
yeah.
And yeah, my youngest is 17, so he's 18 later on this year. So I
All
will
boys?
soon have all boys. So I'll soon have 3 adult
Yes,
children
you will.
rather than children.
Well, congrats,
children, I guess,
mate.
so.
It must be so. I've got a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old. Jamie's got a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And like, I just keep thinking, like, it must be. Hearing you say that, it must be. There's nothing more important in life, and there's nothing that can make you prouder, no matter what you achieve in business or anywhere else, because the knowing you've actually made it through and raised some good.
Yeah,
good
and I had my
humans.
first one. I was 20, man. Like, I was young.
Yeah.
And
Which is why he's like constantly out and living his 20s now.
Yeah, I absolutely.
Well,
am, yeah.
we're all like trying to go home to kids. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have the. Yeah, I can lie in at the weekend. It's my dogs that wake me up if anything else. But sometimes I can lie until midday or 1 o'clock.
Very forgiving wife
fine,
as well.
so.
I imagine.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I travel a lot, and my wife is
Lindsay
very
is
forgiving
very
for that,
understanding.
I haven't had a lane in 5 years, mate. but no, I
You'll
mean,
get there.
it must be so nice to know, because you worry so much as a parent, and you're got all this to come of just non-stop worry. But obviously, it must be nice to know, okay, actually, they've turned out good.
Yeah,
you know,
no, absolutely. Yeah, I'm really proud of them, and actually, like for me, like my wife, like loved kids. Like she works in a school. She's a TA at school. Like she's always wanted to work with kids. She was trained working with kids, etc. Like, I love kids when they were younger and everything else. But like now is my time to shine. Right now is my time. I took my oldest to Vegas for his 21st. I'm taking my next one down his 21st day.
None of them will be duetting with him.
Taking him to New Orleans like this year. Like but we'll go. I've been to like festivals together with them or gigs or whatever else, and playing drinking games and all that kind of stuff. Right, and we're going all on holiday together later on this year as a big family and stuff. And like we actually get on really well, and like they get on really well now, which is good to hear as well and good to see. And like we'll go out with each other and stuff. So yeah, no, it's
amazing.
It's
That's
nice.
amazing.
And, for me, it's a good bit.
And Hannah, we've said before we started recording, but you actually got engaged very recently.
I did on Friday.
Congratulations!
Thank you so much.
Let's see the ring again. Yeah,
it's very
that's a good one.
Yeah. And where was it again?
So I thought I was going to Malta. So I was really excited about it because I'm really into Game of Thrones. I was like, great, can we go on a hike and see like where they film Game of Thrones? And then he was like being really weird about giving me I wanted to get my BA like points. So I wanted the reference number because I'm gradually making my way up again to status on BA. But anyway, I put it in and this was at the airport and I was like, that says Naples. I think there's a mistake. And no, so he took me to the Amalfi Coast. And proposed. He bought me a dress, which is amazing. Actually matches the ring. It's like it was a pale blue dress from like one of my favorite places. And then kind of it was all a bit awkward and and funny when it actually happened, which is very on brand, to be honest. And he proposed in this like garden in this incredible hotel that overlooks the Amalfi Coast. So it was incredible. But he'd actually planned the whole thing with ChatGPT.
I shouldn't have told you that.
No, I mean, that's also very on brand for him. He's like into anything AI. And ChatGPT, so he planned the whole thing, like down to all the details, like everything. And when we got to the hotel, he was like, fuck, the sun doesn't set over there in that garden. So he planned to propose with the sun setting, but ChatGPT had got it totally wrong. And the sun actually set over the other side.
That is so funny.
So, yeah.
That's why he told you he used it, because he could use it as an excuse.
Yeah. But it was amazing. And then we had dinner, like a tasting menu, just the two of us. Like,
he sounds really romantic and also a lot of effort. Like, that's very nice of him putting all that effort.
He is amazing. Oh, and he'd done the best thing was this video. So I've got 3 stepkids and 1 baby. Well, he's actually 3 now. And they'd filmed a video that he played just before.
Wow, he went all out. I mean, ChatGPT went all out.
Yeah, I know.
Really, yeah.
Do you think he got the idea of the video from ChatGPT?
I'm not sure, actually. I don't know. I need to ask that. Yeah.
He should have. I mean, look, the only thing he could have done better, in my opinion, for himself, really, is never reveal the ChatGPT.
He can't keep a secret at all.
Take credit for all of it.
He can't keep a secret. Like, I mean, I'm obviously just, destined to end up partnered with people who can't keep secrets.
But also, like, ChatGPT is obviously incredible. Like, it's one of our business. Partners,
we always say we wouldn't. I don't know how you feel about this, actually, is like you're further ahead in your startup journey, your founder journey, but like I would be nowhere near as where we are without AI.
It's definitely sped things up.
Yeah.
In some areas.
That's what I mean.
We treat it like a having an extra sort of like non-exec.
Yeah.
Same as that. Yeah.
Quite often we'll send each other like a link and we'll have a group chat on there. You can share a link and you can both join.
I mean, at times it's been a fractional like CFO, lawyer,
lawyer,
CMO,
a lot of lawyering.
Yeah, but I'm only recently starting to really think about its how inaccurate it can be.
Yeah.
And realize that because I was like everyone really on it, like really buying into the hype and loving it. Then it does make some ridiculously simple errors, and I'm realizing you got to be careful. We've got a quick fire round that we want to hit you guys with. You're the first time we've had a duet or a double guest, so we'll think about how to do this in an orderly way.
Yeah, I've also got a couple of Affilifest related quickfire questions.
You can go first, mate. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah? Okay.
I haven't researched this quickfire. You have,
I don't
right?
remember
I thought
in the
that
ones I've
wasn't your
listened
thing,
to.
right?
It's not. No, it's not. But I don't know how quick I'll be answering
I've
them. but that's
researched
the
the
thing.
app question.
It's not. Do you know what we say? Quick fire, but everyone normally gives like long answers. And it's
Okay, you try and be quick.
No, you don't have to be quick. It's definitely not.
It's not just a feature, you know.
Okay.
It's just a feature.
We should rename it. It's not quickfire.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll start off with a couple of festival edition questions. So, what is the best Dreamland ride? You can both answer.
Oh, I love the whirlarounds.
Can I reveal what ride we're going to have? If we reveal what rides we're going to
Yeah,
have?
I think
Okay.
this is good.
So
It's an exclusive.
So this year, assuming the weather is nice, they have a new ride this year, which is a log flume.
Whoa,
let's go.
And I am really excited about the log flume at Dreamland.
Bring an extra pair of clothes.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to give you pink ponchos.
Okay.
So
Do you know what I love?
There's also like, and I don't know how many people do this, but there's when you go around the side, they've got the little guns that you put a pound in and you can shoot water at people.
Shoot your friends.
And I'm like, I would just be there all day is my only problem. Like,
where's James?
it's not on all day, thankfully, but like when it's on, I'm going to be like, right.
That's amazing.
Who do I either not like or just like want to wind up or anything else that's going to be
I've got great memories of standing as a kid in the area where you get splashed by the log flume and just having so much fun and running away from it with my brothers, when the wave comes over.
This is Dreamland, so it's not a big log flume. You're not going to get very wet. It's not like the Fort Park one or something like that. But I went and saw it live, so it's fine. Yeah,
nice.
What is the best networking fuel?
I mean, I survived my life on Monster.
He has Monster and a crisp for breakfast.
I have listen, I wish it wasn't.
Don't reveal that so well.
I have Monster. At the moment, I have Monster every day. I have a coffee in the morning, but I always have a Monster before lunch. It's something I need to get off. But
I have Monster for
if
breakfast.
you can give up alcohol, you can give up Monster.
I think
so.
so.
Like, I don't really drink much coffee, right? And it just gets me going. I have it like 9 o'clock in the morning or something, and it just gets me going for the day.
And a Monster. So my problem is caffeine addiction, and every now and then I'll kind of come off everything, and then it starts being more effective again. I don't need the Monster, but the reason why I have a Monster is because I don't want to have another coffee. So it's like variety. But
it tastes nicer than coffee.
I think there's worse habits than a Monster for breakfast. Although it definitely ain't good for you.
I do get sugar-free one anyway, but yeah.
But was it like were you saying like alcohol or coffee basically?
I'd go with a spicy mug.
No alcohol. Do you see lots of people walking around drunk at these?
Yeah.
It's not that
we had frozen mugs in.
We had frozen spicy mugs.
I was actually talking about just energy bars.
Oh,
what's on?
Well, fun fact on spicy mug. I actually have a spicy mug tattoo on my as well. That me and my best friend's got a matching tattoo on. But so we love a spicy mug. And I think the first one I had was in Margate last year.
And I had one on that day.
Yeah.
When we went up the charge.
Yeah.
I had a spicy mug.
You did, you're right. Yeah.
So they're part of our origin story.
Nice. We're going to hit you with the regular quickfire round. The reason why this is important is I love to do this as much as we can is because at the end of the year we're going to do a big what's it called, montage.
Oh, brilliant.
We ask the question once and then we'll go every guest's answer.
Oh my god, you need to do a bloopers montage though. They're always so funny.
But all of our bloopers can get us sued. If we don't cut anything out. We've got many episodes where we cut nothing. We only cut stuff if it's legally, if it's like slanderous, which we've had to do quite a lot. So I
don't think we've said anything slanderous. So
we've not. I've got. Yeah, we've not.
But we haven't done this round yet.
No, this is simple. So I'll ask you individually, right, and then we'll be able to get the right sound bites from you guys. So I'll start with Hannah. What would your 12-year-old self say about who you are today? What you've become?
Oh, wow. Gosh, that's like a really emotional question. Just so excited that I'm doing something I never really thought I would do or wanted to do. I always thought I was going to climb that corporate ladder and be a CEO. And I'm so happy that it's worked out like this and that I'm running my own business and I'm like absolutely like loving every moment of it. So
Amazing.
I think they'd be surprised and
Surprised.
delighted.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. And how about you, James?
Yeah, I think like I was a very, very different person as a child, I guess. Like I hated school. Like didn't have the best experience there. And I just didn't have I didn't have many friends. I wasn't very social. Like I was kind of the loner kind of kid, I guess, and very
Who was
quiet and
that?
stuff like that. So I think my 12-year-old would be probably quite surprised that like maybe like that's not the persona that I have today, and that I do have a good friendship group around me, and an industry that I love, and and so many people that I can spend time with, and everything else. So yeah, I think like from that early years to kind of what it becomes today, like I think it'd be surprised and happy and delighted, I guess.
Yeah, that's beautiful, guys.
I love it. That one was George.
Yeah. What's
Do you want us to answer on behalf of George?
what's your proudest moment since starting Affilifest, Hannah?
It's got to be the women in affiliate, because I was always that person in the boardroom at Clarion saying what I actually would bring the gender pay gap, because they wouldn't really tell anyone because it was always horrendous.
Right.
Reports and like beat down the action plan, and I felt like I was fucking annoying people. I was that like feminist killjoy in like every meeting, and to be doing something that is actually going to bring meaningful change in an industry, by the way, that really needs it. And there are not enough women in leadership teams in this industry, especially in some of the big companies. There are not enough women at that highest pay band. Go and look at the gender pay gap reports, and they're not great for a lot of the companies in this industry. So something needs to change, and I'm so proud to be part of that, even if what we're doing is little, but even if like it's making it more of a conversation. So when I heard Linda talk about the women in affiliate on your podcast, and the way she talked so passionately about wanting to live up to that, being Woman of the Year, that just made me so proud, because that conversation is happening all the time about maternity leave, about imposter syndrome, about all these things and it's just mental that there has been nothing up until this point. Like it's crazy.
I love that Hannah's actually doing a talk on this and like doing her first panel.
My first panel,
first moderator,
yeah,
right?
in Margate.
In Margate as well.
Yeah.
So on that same topic as well. So not only have we done that, but we've also added it onto gender to continue the conversation as well. So
yeah, well done.
So you had the event, you had Women in Affiliates event. How was that? What was the room like?
Oh, it was amazing. First of all, a beautiful location. Emma found this like amazing location that was like stunningly beautiful, and then just a room full of women supporting women, and absolutely joyful. And it was like brunch. It was like totally sober, but everyone was still like just so happy. And Linda did a speech, and she's amazing. Like I really look up to her, and she's such a worthy winner. And Helen Southgate won Industry Hero. And it was just brilliant. And the stories we were hearing from women already when they'd shared their graphic and their award on LinkedIn, that actually it had brought the conversation about affiliate into a room that it hadn't been in, or actually it got someone a promotion. And I was like, wow, this is insane. And actually my mum was a bit of the inspiration around the design of the award. Oh my God, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. Because my mum was like, I'm really sorry, my mum's really ill. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
No, you guys, you should be so proud of it. And that was the question we asked you, was what's the proudest moment?
Yeah, sorry.
And you absolutely smashed it with that answer, because I think that nothing else can come close to that, right? And
yeah. So my mum was a bit of the inspiration for the design of the award. So that was just special for me to be able to do that for her.
I can imagine, yeah. And
oh my God, has anyone cried on the podcast before?
No, but
I'm sorry.
We'll clip that.
Cried when he said something, lively.
yeah, Jamie was crying when I was ranting about a certain publisher. James, you've got to follow that. What's your proudest?
Like, how do I even
what's your proudest moment since starting Affilifest?
Okay, I mean, obviously that it is the same, right? Like, it was an idea we came up with, and actually we're able to action it so quickly and so well. Like, it's phenomenal, right? But I guess if I have to follow up, I think actually when we went to when the first Affilifest, or the first one in Margate last year, when I came down to look at after everything being put up, or after things being put up. and just went around like walking around the stand and stuff, and just like burst into tears. And I was just like, I'm just like so proud of like what we've achieved and stuff like that. Yeah,
you guys are going to make me cry in a minute.
Do you know what? Don't clip it because there's nothing wrong with crying.
No, why not clip it means we take the clip of it and we run it for clickbait. No, I mean, no.
Oh my God.
Just a sidebar on all of this, because we talked about the Women in Affiliates Award. Do
Mm.
you guys think you'd ever do a bigger awards or sort of expand into awards at all?
We've talked about it. There's nothing. We don't have anything planned. Other than we're going to obviously keep growing Women in Affiliate. Look, we base event launches around what people want. So if there is a customer need for an awards at some point, we don't feel like there is right this second, then, maybe
you're in the
we
perfect
will.
position to execute when you see a demand. But also, well done
awards
for not
are
having...
fucking hard though, because you're never going to please everyone. Like, it's really hard because if they don't win, they're fucked off.
It's fixed.
Yeah, I've already had messages this morning because it was the PMAs last night about people who are, disappointed. So it's really hard. So fair enough.
Yeah, tricky one to.
Fair enough to Hello Partner.
I was disappointed that I did not win Best Dressed, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I was very disappointed.
There
on
you
that
go. Yeah, it was James moaning to me.
You weren't there. Can I say, just for those who weren't there, he did look like an absolute G.
Rob.
No, he did.
He was Rob.
He did like an absolute G.
Was there a Best Dressed award? Though?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, sorry,
Really?
there was a Best Dressed
Oh,
award. Yeah,
right, I thought you were joking.
and actually, the guy who won it came up to me afterwards as well and said, I don't know how I beat you in
What
it.
was he wearing?
He was wearing a black suit with like a pink or floral shirt underneath, I guess.
Okay.
Florals in spring.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking.
It was a lovely shirt, by the way.
For those of us who strictly follow the black tie dress code, we were punished with no awards. But I might wear a fedora next year or something.
It was
I love a hat
on the
moment.
invite that pink should be worn, and
really?
and there was going to be a best dress. So
I didn't even read the
read the memo.
Damn it!
I actually didn't read the invite, but was already wearing that. So
Yeah, you were going to be flexing no matter what.
Which one do you want
You
to
go for it, mate. Yeah, what do you think?
Okay. What's one belief you've changed your mind on recently? Hannah, I'll go to
Oh
you
God,
first.
again, James should go first.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Well, you'd prepped.
I guess like
Don't remember using any of the ones I listened to.
I think actually for a long time I felt like there was a lot around like conformity, and whether that's like the way that like a lot of that is like the way that I dress, or like I got my nails done, right? Like it was actually last year for the first time, like, do you know what, I'm just gonna paint my nails, like why not? And like I get acrylic nails now every once in a while and stuff like
Which
that.
I
And it just
love.
feels like, because it's nice to have that like that 30-minute, well actually more like an hour with mine because I go
Takes fucking ages.
just take some time to do that and stuff like that, and just like dress how I want to dress and like wear bright colours. And like I would I remember years ago I was always wear like a black shirt or black t-shirt and jeans and everything else. At some point, like maybe as I was turning into my 30s, and I was like, do you know what, I'm gonna get my arm tattooed, and I'm gonna wear different clothes, and I'm gonna get my nails done, and I'm gonna do my hair in different style, like dye my hair pink at one point and stuff like that, right? And it's just like, do you know what, like just be yourself. Like you don't have to conform to other people, like especially like in like the world we live in now, where like people aren't expected in most industries certainly now to wear a suit and tie to work and stuff like that. You can kind of do what you want in the style respect to a certain extent anyway, and and get my ears pierced and my eyebrow pierced or whatever else. Like just be who you want to be.
Good for you, man. That's a great
like,
message, because I really believe in that.
Yeah.
And I worked in corporate environments, and then I was consulting before we started RevWise. I was consulting for a few years and doing okay. I had some really good clients. And I was on a meeting with one of my clients, and he's a great guy. But I was on a meeting with my client and a supplier who is a small business B2B, like sales outreach agency, and I was wearing a baseball cap, which I liked. It was a Titleist baseball cap, like a golf baseball cap, and I really loved it. And the founder of the business that was my client said something like, Gary, why are you wearing that hat for? Like, take that hat off, like whatever, something like that. And then the guy who was on the meeting we were meeting with, he was like, no, like, Gary, what? Don't take the hat off. Like, be yourself, man.
Yeah.
That's so important. Like, be authentic, be yourself. Like, and that really stuck with me. Is it like, it's symbolic. That hat is like symbolic of basically having your own freedom to style yourself how you want. And you just explained it so well there. Being your authentic self is so important, but it's also actually quite a privilege. Some work for places don't allow that.
Yeah.
And if you're in, like, shout out to anyone who's listening to this, if you're in a workplace that allows for like individuality, like go and get it. You know what I mean?
I completely agree. And actually, it's like it's really nice when I've had people come up to me and like say like I'm their style icon or like
I
what
think
great
that's
style I have, and
been-
I'm like I'd never like would have ever
I
have
think
had
you've
that like years
found
ago,
that.
and like
I've really enjoyed seeing you evolve over the
Yeah.
last few years, and I really love it.
You've got a strong personal brand, that's for sure. Because
Yeah.
I hadn't even met you before last night, but I definitely knew who you were, and I've seen you at events and stuff. Actually, do you know what's quite
Everyone's
funny?
like, "Oh yeah, I'm best friends with James."
Do you know what's funny? I walked up to you in Vegas. Actually, we walked past you. This is so cringe. I was at the Top Golf thing, Impact's Top Golf
yeah.
thing.
yeah.
And I saw you walking past, and I thought, oh, I'll say hi to James, because I knew who you were. I wanted to introduce myself. And you were chatting to someone. It was Ramo, though, wasn't it? And trying to get through the corridor of people. And then I went, "Hey, mate, how you doing?" I put my hand out, and you just like, you didn't see it.
Oh no,
That's
so
like,
American.
and I went, "Oh dear," and I just like kept moving. But it was like
Oh,
such a.
good.
Do you know, it's also like really, I put something on my LinkedIn about this recently as well, but like I have this like weird thing where I've got two things. I've got dyspraxia, which like affects like, it's like dyslexia, but motor coordination, but also like my brain works in a slightly different way. I'm like neurodiverse in that respect. And I also have this condition that I forget the name of, which is ironic, that stops me from being able to like visualize things. So like, how people can, like, my wife would always say like, not have a go at me, but she'd like query over like, why can't you visualize like your wedding in your mind, this kind of thing? And like, what do you even mean? And like, I was listening to a podcast not long ago, and it was someone talking about this actually being a condition. Like if you used to say like, oh, like, what does an apple look like in your mind? Like, I can't tell you, right? Like, I just can't do it. I can't visualize anything in my mind. And actually that leads to like a lot of problems over like when you're meeting people. And like, so, and obviously I know a lot of people in this industry. I've been in this industry for a long time, but I'll see people that I've met before. And like some people are amazing and like knowing who they are and knowing their names and stuff like that. Like, I just can't do it. It takes me like probably like a number of times to meet someone. And I have to like really like have got to know them really well as well before like, if see them again, and like I just won't know who they are. And like I might like have an idea, and like as soon as they say who they are, I'll remember like conversations we had and stuff like that. But like just the face stuff, and when you work in the industry, it goes to so many events, like that's difficult, right? But even like I said to the team, like when we were at an event recently in Arizona at the Optimism event, we were going to the party, and they were saying, "Oh, do we need to bring our badges? Because like people don't normally wear their badges at the event." I'm like, "Yes." I'm like. If there's more people like me out there, and people have come up to me and said this to me as well, like they're really happy about the poster put up because it really relates to them. I'm like, I want to wear my badge at every event, even if it's at a black tie. Like I'd be wanting to wear my badge because like if there's other people that like, have seen me before, met before, I don't want to put them in the same situation where like I say hello and they're like, can't remember who I am and stuff like that, right? So I think like it's a tough thing, right? And especially like in the industry we're in, but like I think it's good to be open about this kind of stuff at the same time. And
For
like
sure.
I've said that for like Affilifest, like make sure like the badges are both sides and all that kind of stuff, so you can't like turn the badge around and then like, and we can't always do it, right? But we try to. And I just think for me it's like, just understanding that. And like, so I'll say to people now, like when I'm like shaking hands, I say like, I'll never say nice to meet you because I might have met them before. I'll say nice to see you. And it's that small change because like if I've not met them before, like that still works. And if I have, then it still works. And it's just, and like hopefully then I'll then twig over or look at their badge. And once I've read their name, I know who they are and stuff like that.
What helps is you've got a very distinct personal brand, as we just said, which is like cool as shit, man. Like you said, like really individual. And so people will remember you more than the average person. So that helps as well, icebreak a little bit, I'm sure. Yeah. And people come up to you quite a lot. Did we answer that one, Hannah? What's the one belief you've changed your mind on recently?
It's a bit quite boring, but I used to, and it's not like a belief system, it's more like something that we do. I used to hate panels, and you totally changed my mind. Am I allowed that?
Yes,
why did you hate them?
Because I just thought you don't get anything out of them. Like you rarely get like a good takeaway. So I used to never have them at one of my events. I used to run an event called Traffic and Conversion Summit, which is a big marketing event for entrepreneurs in America. And we would never have a panel, like literally ever. And you've totally changed my mind that they're actually the way to go.
Don't get me wrong, sometimes they can be terrible. Like, it depends on the personalities on the panel.
I think there's a lot that kind of makes it work.
I love it when panels clash and when there's arguments, right? That's the best one. But you don't get many of those in this space. But
So you guys said earlier about not having no, it's not boring at all. That's like a real one. It's like you said earlier about not having sponsored. If it's not a sponsored panel, people are actually up there for merit because they've got opinions that you want to share with your audience who have kind of given their time and money to be there.
I think that's like something you can really feel confident about at Affilifest that you can't at, I'd say like 90% of other shows, is that you're getting, there's no sponsored content. Yeah. Like no one is up there because they paid for it.
Yeah, like as the sponsors have come to us and said like, oh, like I'll sponsor this
Yeah,
package if like I can get a speaker.
Lydia's
And I'm like, no. Yeah, our salesperson's like this. I'm like, no.
It kills Lydia.
And they didn't
'cause
get one, right?
She came from, Affiliate Summit. It's like a proper like commercial model. It's like decent as well. It's like a minimum of like 15, 20K to get on a panel. And she's like, can we sell this? People are trying to give me money to go on stage. And we're like, it's like a thing. Like,
Hold on,
never.
stand by your.
Yeah.
I've got an idea for you though. Here's
Go
a
on,
shiny
then.
object. If you were ever to commercialize speaking slots or anything, or panels or whatever, why don't you try it and use the affiliate model? So rather than taking a flat fee from the speaker, they get to go up there and do their advertorial speech, and people need to inquire at the back, and you sell it on a lead gen basis back to that speaker for a lead inquiry. Isn't that novel?
It's novel, but I'm still
it's
not going to
basically
happen.
the same way, but probably harder pitching.
Also, tracking could be an issue.
I like the attitude though.
We've got one last question for you because you're both leaders. You're leading a business, Affilifest, with a team and a growing, fast-growing business. James, you've been leading in TopCashback for a long time. So we'll start with you, James. Leadership. You're going to finish the sentence.
Okay.
In your opinion, and there's no right or wrong. Leadership is...
Okay. Oh gosh.
Oh, that's so hard.
It is.
It's
Leadership is. I really should. This is where I should prepare for the questions, isn't it? Because I'm sure I heard Linda do this one as well, and I can't even. Yeah, can't even copy her answer because I can't remember what she said. I think leadership for me is around.
Okay, I know what I'm going to say.
I think it's about being a person who will listen and care, and just try and mentor and get the best out of the people. Like I think, like for me, I try and make sure that the people I work with or that I've mentored in the past and stuff like that, like that I'm like there to listen to what they have to say and not just like say that I'm right a lot of the time as well. And like I like having pushbacks. I think that's really important. Like there'll be times where I say, "Can you do X, Y, Z?" And like if they come back and say no for for whatever reason, like I like that kind of pushback. I want people to be honest and transparent and stuff like that. So for me, I think that's
a great answer in my books because I'm glad you took your time and thought about that without any prep. And what you gave, I think, is bang on. It's like you're essentially saying that it's not about having all the answers all the time. It's about listening and mentoring people.
And I'm going to go on a slight tangent on this as well. But I also think like. For me, like, I really like the people I work with and I want to like the people I want to work with. Like, we were just like I said earlier on, I was in Arizona recently for the Optimism event and with the TopCashback US team. And we ended up getting an Airbnb, like it was an 8-bedroom Airbnb, 8-bedroom, 8-bathroom. And we said to the team beforehand, like, you comfortable doing this instead of like staying in a room at a resort? And they all were, because we all get on really well. Like, we'll have our niggles every now and again, don't get me wrong, I'm sure. But like, we all get on really well. And like, I really like being friends with like the people I work with.
Yeah, I've never been good at not, those people who
I've got like some
refuse to be friends. Well done if you can do that. I can't do that.
I don't want to. Like, do you know what I mean?
Like, same. Like I think in such with our Affilifest team as well. Like, there's so few of us. Like, no one can be an arsehole.
Yeah, but I've had people tell me over the years. Like, I remember being in this job many years. It was only in the gambling space when I knew Hannah's fiance. Sorry. That I was at this company and they said, and I was friends with the girl who like ran the bingo stuff, and she was apparently like below me in like the in the
all shot.
Thank you. And like this boss said to me like, oh, you shouldn't be hanging out with her as much as you do. Like it's she's more junior to you and stuff like that. And like that made me leave the company. I'm like, I can't work for someone like that was my boss at the time. And I'm like, I can't work for someone that is going to give a shit about that kind of stuff, to be honest. It just isn't me. And like I've always I want to be a friendly person. I want to be somewhere because that means people will go to you as well and they'll trust you, right?
And we've always said, haven't we, like we want work to be fun.
Yeah.
Like we want our events to be fun, but we also want to like enjoy
and
have a fun environment.
Yeah, for sure. I think you've done that for sure from what we can see. But yeah, having that flatter structure, making people more approachable, get more shit done. Yeah, stuff gets
I think
covered.
like giving them ownership as well, like to get shit done without you. So I would kind of add to that, and it's like what you were saying, it's you don't know the answers, but you still have to make a decision and give direction. And that for me is like something I've always hated in people that I've worked for, is when you don't have that decisiveness. Even if you might change your mind later on. I think leadership is about being decisive, giving direction, and then giving people who are smart the place to grow and do their own thing. And I think that's what leadership's about.
Yeah, bang
Great
on.
answer.
Bang
Cool.
on.
All right.
I know I said last question, but we've asked everyone this. I think you want to go ahead.
Okay.
That one.
So, yeah, I go to James first on this one. What is one opportunity that most brands are missing right now?
I think for me, it is around. I'm going to change the frame of this slightly. I think the opportunity is more for me around there's lots of MMM platforms. And I know you say don't do acronyms, and I can't remember what MMM means now. So you might have to go and Google it, right?
Multi-mix modeling. Or
yeah,
something?
there you go. See, you know affiliates,
Yeah,
and I don't, right? And I think for me, they're obviously becoming a really big thing in the marketplace. My worry is that there are people relying too much on that data, and that the people that have been creating these models don't really understand affiliate marketing because they come from a paid search, meta type background, etc. I think actually it's the biggest challenge of what's in this industry. So I know that's not necessarily an opportunity. I think the opportunity is making sure that if you are using those platforms, that you take the time that you need to understand how that data works and push back on it where you can. Because otherwise, the CMOs and all those kind of guys who are using these platforms are going to end up killing their affiliate programs.
Yep.
And we've seen that happen with a bunch of programs recently, and I think it's a really bad thing. And I think this is something that I'm going to be spending a lot of time on this year talking about, I'm sure. And yeah, I think it's the biggest challenge we've got in the market. So the opportunity is to end that challenge, I guess.
Cool.
Hannah, what's the biggest opportunity that most brands are missing out on right now?
So we do a lot of roundtables with brands, as we talked about advertisers, and it comes up time and again that they're just struggling to find new publishers, or they're that's a huge challenge that they're always talking about. And I think I was talking to an agency yesterday. I don't know if you know Red Barrington. She's amazing.
She's
actually
great, yeah.
She's and she's why aren't we doing publisher showcases anymore, and more opportunities like that to really surface some of these cool new, maybe AI based or niche new publishers, because that would help those smaller, interesting new publishers, but also these advertisers who are constantly coming to all these roundtables and saying they're really want to find these new innovative publishers. So I think there's something there, and I think that's probably something we can help with a bit. And we try and do that already. We've got this publisher showcase spotlight at Affilifest actually, but I think we could maybe do something like that, outside of the main show, where it's literally just some of these smaller or newer publishers. We've got a really cool publisher, Savvy. The founder of Savvy, which is a fashion AI-based, quite a new publisher, more like that. And I think maybe, there's these brands who are saying this is their biggest pain point, but maybe there's an opportunity around that.
Yeah, it's a never-ending quest for new publishers.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd like to I think maybe we're in a position to kind of help with that a bit.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Cool. So the one opportunity that most brands are missing out on right now is, they're not talking to you.
Yeah.
Or they're not talking to Affilifest.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, it's been great having you on, guys.
Oh, it's been great.
real
Thank
fun,
you.
fun chat. So yeah, how did the milkshakes go down?
Yeah, very nice.
Good.
Yeah.
Did everyone actually drink this?
I drank
I've
about
finished,
half. I got a bit of a stomachache.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've drained it. Yeah.
I've drank it all, yeah. It's quite warm in here, so yeah.
We put some Monster in yours.
And
it go down.
That's the milk I'm going to change to the last
Monster and crisp flavour.
You guys are legends. We're loving the event. Thanks
You
for coming
too.
on and doing
No,
the
thank you. Really
podcast. It's
appreciate
been brilliant. Yeah. Cheers.
It's been awesome. Thanks very much.
Nice one. Thank you.